Sandra Williams, Vice President.
Danielle Burton, Board Member.
Lonnie Swafford, Secretary.
Joe Hodge, Project Leader.
Todd Stevens, President. We've established our quorum. I would like to start with an invocation. I would just ask you to bow with me. Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless this meeting, to bless this time that we all have together, and to make this day again productive, and may we work together to advance the goals of the National Federation of the Blind, and may we do that with dignity and with love. In your name, I pray. Amen. Let us begin with our business meeting minutes. Lonnie, do you have that ready to go?
Technology Assistance Division, Annual Business Meeting, November 1st, 2024. Todd Stevens, President, called the meeting to order. Attendance was taken and all elected board members were present. The minutes from 2023's annual business meeting were prepared and presented by Secretary Angela Henderson. A motion was made to approve the minutes by Scott Spalding and seconded by Sandra Williams. The minutes were approved unanimously. The Treasurer's report was presented by Treasurer Scott Spalding. He indicated a starting balance for the year as $1,283.89. There was an inflow of $19.82, which was annual dues, and an outflow of $316 for the Meta Ray-Ban glasses purchased to raffle at convention. This left an ending balance of $971.71. A motion was made to approve the Treasurer's report by Angela Henderson and was seconded by Danielle Burton. The Treasurer's report passed unanimously. The President's report given by President Todd Stevens highlighted the work that was put into planning and carrying out the annual TAD Symposium and the first annual Senior Summit. President Stevens indicated that he was pleased with both events despite the weather conditions that affected attendance. It was announced that Angela Henderson would be resigning from her position as TAD Secretary due to her newly elected role as affiliate president. Elections were held with results as follows: Todd Stevens as President, Sandra Williams as Vice President, Lonnie Swafford as Secretary, Scott Spalding as Treasurer, and Jacob Hack as Board Member. The meeting was open to public comments. Hearing none, the meeting was adjourned. Respectfully submitted, Angela Henderson, Secretary.
Is there a motion made to accept the minutes as distributed? Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Scott, do you have our Treasurer report?
Okay, this report is from November 15th, 24 through October 15th, 25. This is, let's see, it says beginning balance $1,142.71. Proceeds from the Meta glasses was $598. There was a $20 donation, which brought the additions and beginning balance total to $1,760.71. As previous mentioned, there was a $318 reimbursement to Todd, $22.50 reimbursement to the affiliate for treasurer bonding. There was a $250 donation to the affiliate for convention. The total subtractions was $590.50, brings the ending balance to $1,170.21.
There appears to be a discrepancy in what was stated in the minutes versus what our treasury report shows. So
I think some of it is a repeat and overlaps.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the treasury report as read?
Clarifying question, when you say overlap, you're just talking about it again.
Yeah, well, there was a mention of the meta glasses in the last board meeting, and then it was also on this one. So it was only counted once in the balance, but it was.
I'd be inclined to accept that, given the fact that the beginning balance, as stated in the treasury report, is actually a couple $100 higher. If it were lower, then I'd certainly be inclined not to accept it. So does anyone want to make a motion to accept the treasury report as read by Scott? Is there, that was Sandra. Is there a second? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. My presidential report is going to be really brief. I am and have for many years been concerned about outreach and getting out into the areas of the state that we are unable to get out to due to travel limitations. I know that we have Zoom. We have really tried our best to meet people where they are. We've had a number of technology assistance division projects that have really kind of flatlined. So it's very discouraging. And so I was thinking, what does outreach mean to each of us? And I started really thinking about it, and it hit me one night when I had a lady that called. She was a subscriber of NFB Newsline, and she called me and said, Todd, do you think it's possible for you to for you to put Popeye's chicken on NFB Newsline, Kentucky? And I told her I didn't think that would be possible. But I said, I believe that someone from the technology assistance division could braille that out to her, and she is an avid braille reader. And oh my goodness, she was so excited by that. And I was just thinking, outreach can be big, but it could be just as small as just being able to make someone's day. And really, it made her year. She was so excited. And our board member, Danielle, brailled that for her and provided that for her. And so we were able to meet that specific need. Scott, do you have any comments on what outreach means to you?
Not really, I guess, other than getting involved with as many people as we can and whatever avenues, whether it's one-on-one or in groups. Did you want me to pass it
Yes.
For me, I guess it would just be getting people exciting, reaching out to everyone and getting everyone involved.
For me, it is meeting people where they are, where technology is in their lives and in their part of the state, and just helping them to realize their abilities.
Okay, I would say it's not being afraid to be outside your comfort zone, get out in the community and make folks aware.
This is Danielle. For me, it's, I think I heard it already, but just being able to, reach out to people, meet people in their technology where they're at. I work with technology every day. I also teach it on the side, and and I will say this too. If anybody has any ideas, definitely let us know. We definitely need those ideas. We can't always pull them out of our own hats. So if there is a need that someone sees, come to one of us on the board. It can come to, any of us. So.
And just adding to Danielle's comment, we accept those in email at tad@nfbky.org.
Being last is hard. So everybody's pretty much said everything, but I would just say, please reach out. I know Todd hit on this in the very beginning of the question, and that is, I think as board members and just folks who've worked, Angela, Danielle, and I did a screen reader thing, and it was very lowly attended. We want to do things that matter to y'all. And so if we don't know what those things are, we, like Danielle said, we can try pulling things out of a hat, but we want people to show up and be present and be there. So please, any of the board members you see out today, please let us know what you guys want.
This is Angela. I just want to say that this program that the TAD board has every year, this TAD Symposium, is a huge outreach. And I just want to commend you all for this. This is your 13th year running, 14th, one of those numbers. And this is phenomenal. So keep it up.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, TAD Board of Directors, for your comments. Is there any old business that we need to cover today? Hearing none, is there any new business? Any new business? Okay, I guess we can begin our board elections. Our TAD nominations chair is Kathy Jackson. Kathy, would you? Okay, Kathy. Sure. Absolutely. You.
While we wait on Kathy for elections, why don't we just go ahead and open up to public comment? As you just heard from the TAD board, we need suggestions. What do you all want to see in regards to your technology assistance division? What technology training or resources do you need? What do you want? So this is your time to please stand up and tell us that. I will come around with the microphone. Just please say your name. Okay, so she said Braille technologies. All right, I love it. Any other suggestions? All right, well, as Lonnie said, if you have any, please email. What was that email address, Lonnie? tad@nfbky.org. Kathy, take it away.
Okay, this year we have 7 positions to elect. Oh, okay. Ooh, gee, now back up. I want to thank my committee, Cindy Sheets and Tyler Flower. I'll just call him Flower. He's a flower. So anyway, we will take the offices one at a time, and I will ask for nominations from the floor 3 times, and then hearing none, we will elect by acclamation. And if there is a nomination, then obviously we will hold an election. First position is president, and the nominating committee has recommended Todd Stevens. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
I move that nominations cease and Todd be elected by acclamation.
Second.
The nomination has been made and seconded that we elect Todd by acclamation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, Todd, it's yours for another year or two. Okay.
I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Next is our first vice president, Sandra Williams. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
I move that nominations cease and Sandra be elected by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on, we have Lonnie Swafford for secretary. Are there any nominations from the floor? Any nominations from the floor? Any nominations from the floor?
I move that nominations cease and Lonnie be elected by acclamation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, we have Scott Spalding for treasurer. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
Move the nomination cease and Scott be elected by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The members out in the audience can also second, nominate and second. Then we have Danielle Burton for communications manager. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
Move the nomination cease and Danielle be elected by acclamation.
Do I hear a second? I heard so many nominations. Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposition? All righty, so there you go. Now we have Joe Hodge for program manager. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Any nominations from the floor?
I move the nomination cease and Joe be elected by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All righty, Joe, you've got it again. And then we have Jacob Hack, board member. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
Move the nomination cease and Jacob be elected by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that does it. Then there's your board. We have Todd Stevens, Sandra Williams, Lonnie Swafford, Scott Spalding, Danielle Burton, Joe Hodge, and Jacob Hack. All right. All right. My work here is done. I think.
Thank you, Cap. We appreciate that. Does anyone have any comments that they would like to make? We really work very diligently trying to meet the needs of everyone out there, and I think that that is a common theme with all of us. And we feel like we're coming up short every year, but we won't know how to meet your needs unless you express that to us. So please keep that in mind. Lonnie has given you the email address of how you can reach us. You can also, and you all you need to do is go to NFB Kentucky, spell that out, TAD.info to get a hold of us. Is there any additional business that we have? Yeah, let's let Lonnie cover.
We do have the TAD Help Desk. So if you do have a question or concern about using technology, there is a form you can complete on the website, and it will go to our TAD inbox. Of course, you can always just send an email, but the form does provide some additional opportunities for you to complete some information about comments, what specific system you use, and so forth. So you're welcome to fill that out at any time.
Thank you, Lonnie. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye. The 2025 National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky Technology Assistance Division meeting is now adjourned.
Okay, and now on with the symposium. You may have heard a recurring theme throughout some of the things our board said, and that theme was AI. That's all we hear now, correct? AI, AI. I'm certain all of you know that that was not Lonnie Swafford reading the minutes, was it? No, that was AI. So we're going to go right into this. And like I said earlier, we have a packed agenda. We are going to hear from Mr. Ryan Jones this morning, and he's from Vespero, and he's going to talk about some of the AI new things in JAWS and Zoom text and Fusion and all those things that we utilize every day to enhance our lives. So please welcome Ryan Jones.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Okay. I'm going to plug in some cables let me see if I can raise this a little. I'm tall, so I'm a little higher than the mic, but I'll hold it for now. With all the advancements in AI, we still have to plug in cables to things. So we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. So all right. So I've got a computer here. I'll just do a brief introduction, then I'll kind of share a few things that I'm going to talk about as well. So thank you all for having me. I was able to be here last year for part of the state convention and really excited and honored to be invited back. I'm Ryan Jones. I'm I work for Vispero. I have been the VP of software and product management over the past 3 years. However, I'm shifting into a new role as we speak, and I'm now the SVP of global accessibility and strategic advocacy. So I'm going to be shifting into a role working on how we as Vispero position ourselves and how we influence the broader accessibility community, both with assistive technology products, but also website accessibility and kiosk accessibility and app accessibility, all the things that matter to those of us who are blind or have low vision, to try to make the world around us a more accessible place. And that's more than just assistive technology, as we all know. So happy to be shifting into the new role, but still very involved in our products and JAWS, Zoom Text, and Fusion as we go into the future. I live in Kentucky. I live here in Kentucky, and I'm used to just saying I live in Kentucky. I live in Lexington with my wife Kayla, who's also here today as well. So hopefully we'll get to meet and speak with most of you individually. We'll be here today and tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be talking also about sort of where we've come with JAWS, with screen reading and screen magnification, and then a little bit about where we're going. But today I'm just going to focus a little bit more on AI. So I'm just curious for the audience, just shout out your answers. What do you think of with the term AI? Like, what just jumps into your mind? Scary. What was that? Awesome. So scary and awesome. A lot of things are that, or both of those. Challenging. All right. That's a good one. Misinformation. All right. The way Siri used to be. Okay. All right. I still fight with Siri every day. That was a broad spectrum, and I'm sure others are thinking of things that you didn't even mention. And it's interesting because AI has sort of come out into the world, and it's talked about. AI is not new, by the way. AI, the concept of what artificial intelligence means has been around for really since the beginning of computing, probably even before that in some way. I mean, if you think about optical character recognition, or taking a piece of print and turning it into computer text where we could read it on a computer or a phone, that technology has been around for decades, and that's artificial intelligence. Many other things that we do on a daily basis are artificial intelligence, even though we may not have thought of it that way. AI just got its legs from a buzzword perspective in the last 3 to 5 years, with some of the mainstream companies now talking about it, and companies like OpenAI, who developed ChatGPT, and Microsoft and Google. Everyone's using those terms, but this technology is not new. Even things like ChatGPT, the technology has been built for decades. They've been working on this stuff. So it became mainstream, and with more modern processors and modern computer chips that can process things faster, larger data centers, all of it sort of came to this point where we are in the past few years of it being available to everyone, and not just to people who had supercomputers running in their basement. So it's not new, but it's new to many of us because now we can access at our fingertips. And when we think about from the JAWS perspective, it's not new either. So even before we were talking about large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini, there were some things in JAWS that were in Zoom Text and Fusion that were AI based. Like we talked about optical character recognition, or OCR, where you've got something that's in print and you need to have it spoken back to you, and that translation process has to happen. That's been around for a number of years, obviously. So this is not new for JAWS, but there's some new things that we can do with the more mainstream AI that's now available to us. One of them that I want to quickly mention. It's been around again since before we really started talking about AI, and it's the ability for JAWS to tell you how you look in the camera. Not if you're pretty or not, but if you're looking at the camera. I mean, AI can tell you that, but just better not to know in most cases. At least for me, I'd rather not know. But AI can help us know when we're looking at our camera, if we're going to be on a Zoom call or a Teams meeting at work, or a WhatsApp call on our computer, something where we need the camera on. AI can help us know that we are, or help ensure if we're looking at the camera, if our face is centered in the view or not of the camera. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put the microphone down so I can use the keyboard. And what's going to happen is, and I have to bend down so that the camera can see me because I'm somewhat tall, but I'm going to turn this capability on in JAWS, and
face it open and face it new. Face it view. Using surface camera front. No face detected. No light. You are centered. You are pointing to center. Brightness is normal.
All right. So once it started,
no face detected.
I'm turning my face around. So what's happening is, as I move my head, JAWS is seeing what's in my camera and trying to give me instructions to help me make sure that I'm looking in the right way. So let's do it.
You are centered.
Now I'm moving my head over to the side.
Detected.
Now it says
you
no
need
face.
To move left.
Okay.
You are pointing to center. You are centered.
Now I'm going to look down.
No face detect. You are set.
And as I look down or move my head down, it's going to give me that feedback of what I need to do.
You need to move up or tilt your camera forward. You are centered. No face detected.
As I moved my head back up, it told me, I'm going to stop it here because I'm moving around, so it's going crazy on me.
Turn your head left.
Turn your head left. Turn your head right. Do the hokey pokey. But the goal of that was to help me know that before I get on that call, whether it's a work call or a family or friends, whatever it is, before I'm there getting on the camera, that I'm actually looking at the camera and that my face is centered in that camera. So this is AI, but it's not like Chat GPT or something like that, but it's still artificial intelligence. It's still taking something and making decisions based on the inputs that it has. So that's a really good thing. It's been in JAWS for several years. Another thing that's relatively new that doesn't get a lot of attention is the ability for AI to recognize languages. This is something AI is really good at pattern recognition. And in fact, most of AI really is just that. It's pattern recognition, recognizing the same things, recognizing patterns of information. And so because languages are based on patterns, AI is really good at picking out the language that text is written in. So in JAWS in the past, does anybody, by way of applause, because I can't see if you raise your hand, does anyone speak any other languages or trying to learn or interested in learning other languages? Okay, good. Somebody's brave. Good. I can speak a little bit of Spanish, enough to get me in trouble sometimes. But sometimes when we're working on the web or documents or something like that, we come across text written in different languages. And in the past, screen readers like JAWS could only switch to a language, to speak the language, if the document or the text was marked with the right language codes. So if the text was Spanish or French, if the authors of the document or the web page used the right codes to say that this text was Spanish or French, JAWS would switch to a Spanish or French voice, for example. But if the text was not marked with the right codes, this is what would happen.
Heading level 1C conversation with.
So this is just a Word document that's got some English text.
Create 3 paragraphs about Dallas, TX in Spanish. Aquí tienes 3 párrafos sobre Dallas, TX en español, Dallas, Texas, es una metrópolis vibrante y un centro económico importante en el
That's called Kentucky Spanish, right? It's an English voice trying to speak Spanish text, and it does not sound very Spanish, does it? Because JAWS doesn't have any way to know that that text was in Spanish. So it's using the English voice and trying to read Spanish words with Spanish phonetics. So this was the problem that we would often run into if you're reading things with multiple languages.
Microsoft.
Now I'm going to switch real quick to turn on the setting to let AI
Settings center.
do
Enter,
this
edit.
for me.
Word-JAWS.
And this is on by default, but I turned it off for that little demonstration of
Language.
what things
Censor.
used to be like.
Language processing. Detect blank space. Space. Detect language space. Based on text space. Based on AI prediction. Enter. Search and enter. Conversation.
So now I told JAWS to go ahead
Create
and use AI to determine what language is on the page. So when it's reading the English text,
create 3 paragraphs about Dallas, TX in Spanish.
so this was the prompt I used in the document, and then below that is the Spanish text.
Aquí tienes 3 párrafos sobre Dallas, TX en español, 2 puntos. Dallas, Texas, es una metrópolis vibrante y un centro económico importante en el sur.
Now it switched to the Spanish voice. Now the sad thing is I could actually understand that other thing a little better because my Spanish is not good, but this is actual real Spanish and it sounds like real Spanish, but I think I'm better at the Kentucky Spanish in some ways. So this is the power of AI, though, of being able to recognize the language of text. If that was German, then JAWS would have switched over to its German voice, or if it was Portuguese, to the Portuguese voice, because the AI recognizes this text is in Spanish. And then if you get out of the Spanish text, for example, I'm just down arrowing.
End of language demonstration period.
Then it got back and it recognized that text as English, so it switched back over to the English voice. So you might notice this happening on your phone. You might notice this in other places, but now with JAWS, we're doing this with AI and making it much more accurate when we come across different languages.
Alt F4, JAWS version.
The other thing that we want to talk about, so I think many people are familiar with the ability to interpret images and describe images. Most of us have used apps. If we have a smartphone, from Be My Eyes or Ira or Seeing AI or other services that describe the pictures that we might take with the camera on our phone. We also have that ability in JAWS as well. When we come across pictures on web pages or presentations or documents or anything where there's something visual, we can have JAWS describe it with AI as well. Do any of you use this already? Okay, a couple people. Good. Remember, don't raise your hand. I don't know what you're doing. So a few people use it. Has anybody not really heard of this or not aware that JAWS can now describe things visually on your screen? Okay, good. Someone's being honest. I'm glad. You need to, because I know not everybody in the room has heard about it. So good. Thanks for being honest. And this has been in JAWS for about 1.5 years or so, and it's using similar technology that you're probably used to with your phone. So we're leveraging companies like ChatGPT or OpenAI, who makes ChatGPT. We also use a technology from a company named Anthropic. They make a product called Claude, which is similar to ChatGPT. Some of you may have heard of that. So we use multiple AI services in our products. And I'll just kind of do a couple of illustrations of this so you can see the benefit of this. So I'm on a web page. I have a web page open in Chrome, and I went to the Walmart website. It doesn't matter that it's Walmart. That's just the one I picked. It could be Amazon. It could be anything. And I just searched for men's rain jacket because winter's not far off, unfortunately, here. And that means cold rain a lot. And so if I'm looking for a rain jacket, I typed in rain jacket, and now I've got search results. And of course, using JAWS, we can browse through the results with our the letter H, because they're marked as headings. And as we do that,
Results for quote 4 stars and above. I cream frog togs men's vapor rain suit blue/gray side.
here's a rain suit. I can hear the name of it. I can hear it says blue/gray.
Frog togs all-purpose rain suit and camo left parent men's right parent heading level 3 link.
So here's one that's camo.
Men,
Probably for Kentucky, definitely.
Heading level 3 link. Men's winter jacket windproof puffer coat warm hooded quilted parka black XL.
Now that's got like 25 words in it that I don't know what half of those mean. Puffer coat, I know what that means. But we can read the descriptions, but that doesn't tell us anything about what the jacket actually looks like, does it? So if you're looking at the page visually, right after the search result,
men's winter jacket
there's a graphic here, a picture of it. And the picture is labeled.
Men's winter jacket windproof puffer coat warm hooded quilted parka black XL graphic.
So it said graphic. So that's the label, which is that's good accessibility. Walmart did a good job with that. The problem is that just tells me what this is. Doesn't describe it in any way. So I'm going to tell JAWS
Picture Smart is in progress
to use its AI.
The
Since
image
my focus was on that
the
picture,
image shows a black
I told it to describe that picture.
The image shows a black winter jacket with a hood. The jacket has a front zipper and snap buttons. It features 2 breast pockets with zippers and 2 lower front pockets with flaps. The inner lining appears to be a different shade of black or dark gray. The jacket has a label visible inside near the collar. The overall design looks warm and suitable for cold weather. The background is plain white and a small heart icon is visible in the top right corner. Link asked questions about this image.
All right, so that's the description. So what did I learn about the jacket now? Well, I learned number one, it has 4 pockets. So I'm going to buy this immediately because I like pockets. It described it as having 2 breast pockets and 2 pockets on the side. It told me that it's got zippers and buttons. I think it indicated an inner lining. So that was a lot more detail than I got from the label of that image. And I can do more with this. I can have it give me an even more detailed description if I want. I can even ask follow-up questions about it. So we'll look at those things here in a moment as well. But now I'm getting much more information about just a picture. If I'm just doing shopping at home, I can now find out what things look like. I'll give you some other examples where I've used this technology when I've bought some appliances in the past. We had to buy an air fryer / toaster oven recently. And I used it to find out when we were looking at ones on Amazon, did it have buttons on it? Because the last thing I wanted to buy is something with a touch screen that will not be very accessible. So when looking at the different products, I used the Picture Smart technology in JAWS, and then I would ask it, does this air fryer have buttons? And then it would, on some it said, no, it looks like it's a touch screen. There's no visible buttons. And then on some it said, yes, I see 5 visible buttons and 2 knobs or whatever the description was. So you can find out much more about what you're looking at with this type of image description technology. So that's an example of using it on a web page when we're shopping. I also have the Hilton Garden Inn page up, the web page for this hotel, and there's some pictures of the hotel. So if you are interested in, there's an image here that's just labeled lobby. So I'm assuming it's a picture of the lobby, but again, that doesn't tell me anything about what the lobby might look like here at the hotel.
Space, Picture Smart.
So I'm going to have JAWS
Picture Smart is in progress.
Describe the picture of the lobby so that I kind of have an idea before I ever show up here at the hotel.
Problems
let's just
analyzing
see what it's come back
Problem
with.
heading level 2 chat GPT.
So I told it this time to give me a more detailed description, not just a brief overview, but a detailed description.
The image depicts a spacious, well-lit interior area that appears to be part of a hotel lobby or a similar public space. The floor is polished with large, light-colored tiles featuring a darker patterned carpet area on the left side of the image. There are 2 large, prominent wooden columns in the foreground with a rich reddish brown finish. In front of each column there is a tall, modern planter containing green plants that add a touch of nature to the space. Hanging from the ceiling are several large, white, rounded pendant lights of varying shapes and sizes, contributing to the bright and airy atmosphere. The ceiling is high, further enhancing the spacious feel. In the background, there is a setup with a wooden table holding various items. It looks like a refreshment station with multiple beverage dispensers, cups,
I like refreshment stations.
and other related items, suggesting a place where guests might serve themselves drinks or snacks. Beyond this station, more furniture and other areas of the lobby can be seen, including seating arrangements, possibly for guests to sit and relax. The overall impression is one of a clean, modern, and welcoming public space designed for comfort and convenience. Heading level 2, Claude.
So that was a very detailed description now of this lobby. And in fact, there's 2 descriptions that are available. I'm not going to read the second one just for time's sake, but we're using 2 AI technologies. So we told it to give us 2 different descriptions. That way I can look at both. And sometimes AI is unpredictable. And sometimes one AI will pick up something that another AI doesn't. So we use 2 different companies so that we have the most information that we can provide, or get the most information as the user. So when we look at detailed descriptions, we can look at both of them and compare them to make sure that we're finding out everything that we want to find out. So another really good example, does anyone ever use PowerPoint? I heard some moans. Okay, yeah. Usually if I ask the question, it's groans is the a what?
College PTSD.
Oh, college PTSD. Yes, absolutely. But sometimes we need to work with things that are visual. Sometimes we need to work with documents that a coworker might send to us, or a friend, or an organization that we're a part of. There's all kinds of reasons where we have to deal with visual presentations that are created maybe not very accessibly. And this picture image description, the Picture Smart AI, we can also use this to describe a slide. So I have a PowerPoint open, and I actually used AI to make this PowerPoint. I told ChatGPT to build me a 2-slide PowerPoint about the state of Kentucky, and it did. And it took it about 15 seconds. It would have taken me 30 minutes to even try to start doing that. But the second slide, I told it, give me a map of the state of Kentucky. So on this slide, there's a map showing some of the larger cities and where they are in relation to one another.
Level 1, list of 2 item bullets, schematic outline, left parent, not the
And when I read this with Jaws is just reading me the text on the screen.
Bullet cities: Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green, Owensboro, Covington, Frankfort, Paducah, Ashland.
So it's reading me the name of the cities that are here.
List end. Kentucky underline schematic underline map.png graphic.
And then it told me there's a graphic.
Kentucky underline.
But I have no idea what the graphic is. So I'm going to let Jaws describe the slide now to me.
Space. Picture Smart.
I'm going to tell it to do the detailed description.
Picture Smart is in progress.
And it will take the entire screen that I'm on, which is the screen is the slide.
Heading level 2.
And it's going to generate these detailed descriptions. So let's see what it comes back with.
Heading level 2 ChatGPT. The image is a schematic and not dash-to-dash scale map of the state of Kentucky, titled, quote, Kentucky map and main cities, left parent demo, right parent, quote, with a subtitle, quote, Kentucky left parent schematic. Not the scale, right parent. The map is represented as a roughly polygonal orange outline filled with a light tan color to denote the state boundary. Several main cities in Kentucky are marked with colored dots and labeled with their names. The cities and their dot colors are colon. Dash Paducah left parent black dot right parent located on the far left parent western edge right parent of the map. Dash Owensboro left parent blue dot right parent just to the right of Paducah. Dash Louisville left parent light blue dot right parent slightly down and to the right of Owensboro. Dash Bowling Green left parent yellow dot right parent south of Louisville.
Now we know Jaws is not from this area because it says Louisville and not Louisville.
Dash Frankfort left parent pink dot right parent towards the center dash top area. Dash Lexington left parent heel dot right parent near Frankfort but slightly to the right, more central on the map. Dash Covington left parent brown dot right parent near the top center dash right. Dash Ashland left parent orange dot right parent on the far right left parent eastern edge right parent of the map. The schematic layout broadly spaces out the cities across the shape representing Kentucky, but it is clearly noted that the positions are approximate and not geographically exact. The map is simple and does not show any additional details such as roads, counties, or physical features. Heading level 2.
All right, so we went from knowing that there's a map on a slide to now getting a thorough, detailed description, including where all the different points were that were located on the map. And it even described them in relation to one another. So you notice it said, you know, Lexington was to the right or to the east of Frankfurt, for example. So it takes our ability to a whole new level to understand what other people are seeing visually so that we can understand it from a text perspective.
Escape, Kentucky underline.
If you're looking at a slide, maybe you're proofreading something, or you've had to build a slide or slideshow for someone, you could have it describe to you the format or the layout of the slide. What are the colors? What's the color combinations on the slide? Or what size does the print look like? So I've found that, and many people are finding this very, very beneficial when dealing with visual types of presentations, whether that's slideshows or Google Slides or other things that have a lot of formatting, and you need to know what they actually look like, because maybe you need to describe it or reference something to a sighted person, and they're not going to, you have to find the common language that you can use in many cases. So using the AI to describe images helps you break down those barriers or boundaries.
Escape, Kentucky.
So
9:58 a.m.
the next thing that I want to look at is another thing that AI is really good at, and especially large language models, which is really what a lot of the AI that we all use on a daily basis, it runs on large language models, which is just a really technical term that means it's trying to predict what's coming next. But large language models and AI are really good at synthesizing large amounts of information. When you have large documents or massive amount, think of thousands of pages of documents, AI is really good at finding what you might be looking for in that content. And so it makes it a great training tool. Whether we're using a screen reader like JAWS, or we're using Microsoft Office or web browsers, there's a lot of things that we have to remember as a screen reader user, right? We have to remember all the keyboard commands for the screen reader, like JAWS. And then we also have to remember all the commands for Word, if we're using Word, or Excel, or the web browser. There's a lot to remember. There's a lot of cognitive load that it takes to use a screen reader, and especially to use it with all of its features and functionality to make it more efficient for you. So AI is good at helping us with that. So we built a tool that we've called FS Companion. And FS Companion, we have fed it. So think of this as a living creature. We fed it all of our training documentation, all of the thousands of hours of webinars that our team has developed and taught people how to use JAWS. We fed it all of the printed documentation and all the different keystrokes in JAWS. We fed it all of the documentation that Microsoft produces about Office, or all of the documentation that Google produces for the Google suite of applications like Google Docs and Google Sheets. We fed it all that information, and after it had indigestion for a while, it started learning from that information, right? And so now we can use FS Companion to query that. So I'm going to launch FS Companion, and this is an easy one to do with JAWS. If you can remember this keystroke, it's the gateway to helping you learn other keystrokes in JAWS. So it's insert with the space bar, and then F1.
Hello, I'm excited to help you learn more about FS Companion.
So I'll stop it. So insert space and then F1. That immediately opened up a window with the FS Companion tool inside of it. Now, the good thing is you can also go to your web browser and get to FS Companion. So you could, even on your phone or another device, go to fscompanion.ai on your web browser, and you'll get there as well. Speaking of, the dogs are groaning up here. So
obviously, level 1.
No, it's all right. It's all good. I was going to say, speaking of indigestion, might just be falling asleep. So FS Companion is accessible directly from within JAWS or Zoom Text or Fusion, but it's also available if you're not even using the product. So for a teacher, a trainer, someone else who, or you just want to have it open on your phone while you're using your computer as well. So we can ask it questions. So there's an edit box on here.
Question enter.
So I'm going to just ask it a question. Let's, one of the things I always have to do is adjust the volume of my computer or JAWS. This is one, there's some really cool keystrokes in JAWS to help you do this, but it's easy to forget what they are. So
how do I change the volume of?
I'm just going to ask it, how do I change the volume of JAWS?
Question enter. How do I change the volume of JAWS? Blank.
I pressed enter, and now that clicking sound means that it's working. And once it's done working, then it'll start reading back the
To change the
answer.
volume of JAWS, use the following steps: 1. Press and release. Insert plus space bar to activate the JAWS layered command mode. 2. Press V for volume. 3. Press J for JAWS volume. Now you can adjust the JAWS volume: bullet. Press up arrow or right arrow to increase the volume by 2%. Bullet. Press down arrow or left arrow to decrease the volume by 2%. Bullet. Press page up to increase the volume by 20%. Bullet. Press page down to decrease the volume by 20%. When you are finished, press escape to exit the volume layer. These changes will only affect the JAWS speech volume, not your system volume. Let me know if you need help with anything else.
It's always, AI is very friendly. It's always asking to let, even if you've used ChatGPT or other ones, it's always asking, would you like me to do something else? Would you like more help with this? So that gave me back the answer. It told me all the different steps that I can use to adjust the JAWS volume through JAWS. It read it all at once, but I can just let JAWS, I can scroll through this. It's just text. Think of this as a web page. So there's headings on there. So if I press the letter H.
Wrapping the top conversation with FS. How do I change the volume of JAWS?
And then I can down arrow through the response instead of just letting it read back to me, which it did the first time.
To change the volume of list of 3 items. 1. Press and release insert plus space bar to act. 2. 3. Press J for JAWS.
So I'm just down arrowing. I'm not going to go back and reread it all. But the point is that it's text here. So I can read it at my own speed. I can read it on my Braille display. I could copy and paste this. So if I was sending these instructions to a friend or colleague, I could highlight them with normal commands, copy it, paste it into an email, and send it to someone, or save it in a document for reference later. So it's text that's here available to me. But it's trained on much more than just JAWS. It's trained on using the different applications that we often use, things like Excel or Word or PowerPoint. Does anybody have a good question they'd like to know how to do something in Word or Excel or
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste. All right, let's just ask something like,
how do I copy and paste text from Word to?
I'm going to ask it, how do I copy and paste text from Word to Excel?
Excel question. Enter. Type your.
And because it's regular AI, you don't have to ask your question in a certain way. Just ask it whatever comes to your mind.
Step dash by dash.
Now I'm going to stop it so I can just kind of scroll through it intentionally. Because again, it will read it automatically, but there'll be a lot of steps here. So I might not want to listen to it all in one time.
How do I copy and paste text from Word to Excel? And here are step dash by dash step instructions to copy and paste text from Microsoft Word to Excel using JAWS : list of 4 items. 1. In Microsoft Word : list of 3 items. Nesting level 1. Hollow round bullet. Move to the text you want to copy. Hollow round bullet. Select the text by holding down Shift and using the arrow keys. Hollow round bullet. Once the text is selected, press Ctrl plus C to copy it. List and nesting level 1. 2. Switch to Microsoft Excel : list of 2 items. Hollow round bullet. Use Alt plus Tab to switch to your open Excel window. Hollow round bullet. Use the arrow keys to move to the cell where you want to paste the text. JAWS will announce the cell reference left parent, for example, quote lang A1, quote right parent. List and nest 3. Paste the text : List of 1 items. Net hollow round bullet. Press Control plus V to paste the copied text into the selected cell. List and nesting level 1, 4. If you want to move to the next cell after pasting, press Enter left parent to move down right parent or tab left parent to move right parent. List end. These steps will let you copy text from Word and...
All right, so there's all the steps that I need to do. Now, of course, because this is just a window open on the screen, I could be switching back and forth while I read those steps. If I don't want to remember all of them, I could read the first couple steps, switch over, do those things, and then switch back to this window and keep on going through them. So it's not just helpful with one application. In this case, it actually is helping me interact with multiple applications. So it's using logic to put all these things together to help me complete a specific task. So for those who don't use this or haven't used it, it's a really, really good way to help you learn to use your assistive technology more efficiently. Or when you forget something. One of the reasons we developed this is because have any of you ever gone out to Google and tried to type something like that in? How do I do a mail merge in Word? Or how do I print a document? The answers you get usually are what? They're screenshots. They're arrows that say, click on the blue button in the right corner, and then it's got an arrow pointing to it in a big circle. Well, that doesn't help us if we can't see those things. So this tool is going to give us only information or steps that we can actually do as a screen reader user with JAWS. It's only keyboard commands. It's never going to tell you something that you can't do with JAWS. So it's really powerful to quickly find that kind of information. And that's, again, this is the benefit of AI, of taking large, massive amounts of information and pulling out the right pieces instead of us having to go look at 20 training documents to try to find what we're looking for. So FS Companion, which I will note, so something that's coming, we are going to be renaming FS Companion most likely to Vispero Companion. That's coming up in the next couple of months. So as we're working on renaming some things in our product and what our branding is. So you'll hear more about that. I'm still going to call it FS Companion, but just don't be surprised when you hear it is renamed later to Vispero Companion. But think of it like a platform. We're going to add a lot of different things that FS Companion can do. So think of it in a way like a Siri or an Amazon Alexa or a Google Assistant. It's a tool that right now it's mostly here to help you learn how to do things, but it's going to gain more and more capabilities. And in fact, with the upcoming release of JAWS ZoomText Infusion 2026, which is happening on Wednesday of next week, FS Companion is getting a new capability called AI Page Explorer. And I'll give you a brief intro to that. I'll also talk a little bit more about it tomorrow when we get to talking about kind of the future and so where some things are heading with JAWS and with AI and so on. But some of the problems that we deal with, and I'm going to speak for you, and you can tell me if I'm wrong that you don't deal with these problems. But when you go to web pages, it's often difficult to find things on the page. It's often difficult to know, how is that page laid out? How is the page structured? What all is actually here? I mean, sure, we can use commands like H to try to jump to the headings. Well, what if there are no headings on the page? Or what if we really don't even have any idea how this whole thing is set up? And once we know how it's set up, then we can go navigate it more efficiently. So AI Page Explorer will take the page that we're on and help us understand how it's laid out, how it's structured, and what are some of the different techniques that we can use to navigate that page. So I'll give you a brief example, but I'm going to save some of this for tomorrow when we have more people here, because I think this is a really, really powerful new capability that JAWS is going to have that's really designed to help us be more productive, and especially when we're in work type of environments where we're maybe dealing with complex web pages. We're dealing with a system at work, or we're trying to make travel arrangements, something like that, where we're dealing with complicated web content. the AI Page Explorer can help us be better and more efficient at navigating.
Escape. Desk.
So I'm going
Hilton
to
Garden Inn, Louisville, Northeast dash.
I'm going to go back. So I'm back on the Hilton Garden Inn page where we looked at that picture earlier. But if I were wanting to call the hotel, I need to find the phone number. So we'll look at that here in a second. But I'm going to have FS Companion AI Page Explorer just describe this Hilton Garden Inn page.
Starting Page Explorer.
So I press the command, which will be insert shift in the letter E for Explorer. And I was in Chrome when I did it. I'll have my web page open. So now the AI is going to think, it's going to take the page and examine it and then try to give me that summary or some of those details.
Page summary 1. Layout.
And it opened it up in the FS Companion window, the same type of window that we were looking at earlier with those hotkey or those commands. It's the same window that opens up.
Conversation.
So let's
Page
see
summary.
what it tells me.
List of 4 items. 1. Heading level 3 layout. Bullet. The page has a top banner area with the Hilton Garden Inn logo and a main navigation menu including links like home, rooms, hotel info, offers, gallery, location, dining, and events. Bullet. Below the banner is the main content area with a large heading naming the hotel and its address, followed by a booking form with check dash and slash out dates, room and guest selectors, and special rates. Bullet. There is a large image carousel showing hotel photos with navigation buttons and the photo count. Bullet. A section with hotel ratings, contact info, left parent phone and email, right parent, and arrival slash check dash out times is present. Bullet. Several content sections follow, each with headings describing hotel features, amenities, rooms, member benefits, policies, group travel, and location details. Bullet. There is a tabbed interface for hotel policies and location slash transportation information. Bullet. A map region is included with controls and links to open Google Maps. Bullet. A breadcrumb navigation is present near the bottom. Bullet. The footer contains contact phone numbers, social media links, and various informational links about Hilton services and policies. Bullet. A chat button for Hilton Digital Assistant is fixed on the page. Bullet. The page uses multiple landmarks, banner atop, navigation for menus and.
So there's a lot on this web page, isn't there? And if I were going through and just using JAWS and arrowing through this, or maybe tabbing or using headings, I could find all that. It's not that we couldn't find it. It's that it might take 5 or 10 minutes to sift through all that and sort of figure out what all is on this page. Whereas this overview in a few seconds helps me know generally what is here. And then I could decide to go look for something specific.
Breadcrumbs, main 2. Heading level 3 content summary.
So it's going to give me the overview and then kind of give me like, what's the main theme of this page?
This page provides detailed information about the Hilton Garden Inn Louisville Northeast Hotel, including booking options, amenities, rooms, policies, location, and contact details. 3. Heading level 3 navigation tips.
And now it's going to give me navigation tips based on what it found on the page.
Bullet headings: the page uses heading levels 1 and 2. The main hotel name is heading level 1. Section titles like, quote, steps from Paddock Shops Retail and Dining, quote, our amenities, quote, rooms and suites, quote, and others are heading level 2.
I'll save time and not read all that, but it's giving me some tips. It's telling me there are headings here and what those headings are so that I know I could use the H key, for example, on the page to scroll through.
Left parent main meso, be aware special rates of strategy navigation or footer, the bottom right using JAW 4. Heading level 3 important links.
And now it's going to give me a section, which I think is really useful, called important links. So this is where the AI, it looked at the page and it tried to figure out what are the top few links that you might use on this page.
List of 7 items, nesting level 1. Hollow round bullet link find stay. Dash start booking a stay. Hollow round bullet link join. Dash join Hilton Honors Program.
So the link there was called join, and then it's giving me a description, join the Hilton Honors Program.
Hollow round bullet link home. Dash main hotel page. Hollow round bullet link rooms. Dash view room options. Hollow round bullet link hotel info. Dash hotel details and policies.
So if I were to hit enter on any of these links, it would actually open that link in a browser and take me straight to that new page instead of me having to go find it on the Hilton Garden Inn webpage.
Hollow round bullet link off dash special offers.
So it gave me the overview, but one thing that I think is really useful here is that we can actually have a conversation about this page as well. Just like we could have a conversation about a picture and ask it follow-up questions, we can do that with the page. So I'm going to ask it, it mentioned there was a phone number. I'm going to just ask it, what is the phone number?
What is the phone number question?
Rather than me go try to scroll through the page to find it,
The
I'd
phone
rather,
number for the Hilton Garden in Louisville Northeast is +1502-423-0018. You can activate the link to call directly if your device supports it. Use the JAWS links list left.
all right. So there, it gave me straight away the phone number instead of me having to go search through the page to find the phone number. I could ask it for the address if I think the address is on the page, or I can ask it whatever I want and it will tell me what it finds, or it may say it can't find that information on the page. So I'll save some more of this. I'll do some more examples of how this is going to be really beneficial and how we believe it will be beneficial tomorrow. But this is sort of showing you the evolution, because I think this session was really focused around AI, but what AI is evolving, AI is changing, and we're kind of in the middle, I think the really early to middle stages of figuring out the power of AI. It started early by some basic image recognition, and then it sort of advanced to giving us detailed descriptions of things that we might not be able to see. And then it advanced to being able to take large amounts of information and pull it all together and help us find specifically what we're looking for. And now it's moving into a space to actually evaluate content, evaluate an application that we're working with, or in this case, a web page, and tell us about what it is, and then even let us start performing actions. So where does this go from here? You can kind of imagine that the next logical place that AI can be beneficial is to let us start doing things. Right now, AI gives us information, but what if AI could perform an action for us? What if it could book the hotel reservation for me instead of me having to navigate through the Hilton site? What if I could just tell the AI, what are the rates for a room on January 31st to February 4th? And it could go look up the information and give me back those rates. And then I could tell it, okay, go ahead and book that room, book a king room. That's where I believe things are going. Are we there yet? Not really, because there's a lot of checks and balances that need to happen. You don't want AI going rogue and you tell it to book a hotel and it goes and buys 27 rain jackets from Amazon, right? So there's controls around it. And we see this in mainstream AI. We see mainstream AIs like ChatGPT using these agents now that will perform tasks. The key thing is to make sure these things are accessible so that we can know what's happening, so that we know what the agent is doing. Some of the techniques that the AI companies use are they show you a little live video outlining what the AI is doing on your behalf right now. We need to make sure those things are accessible and communicated in a way that those of us who can't see that little video can know what the AI is doing and can stop it or change its direction if it seems like it's going in the wrong direction. So we still have a lot of things to flesh out and to make sure are responsibly done and make sure are accurately done. But the great news is, I think we're there within months, maybe not years, right? The ability to let AI help us do tasks is on the near term horizon. And that's really exciting. It should be exciting to all of us because it, again, breaks down more barriers that we've been dealing with as technology users who maybe we don't want to be advanced power users of everything. Maybe we just want to get our job done and we don't want to have to go through so many steps to do things. AI is going to help us shorten that time frame. So I'm going to stop there. We'll talk more about this tomorrow when we look at some of the additional new and upcoming things, and I'll show some more examples. But I think hopefully this gives us an overview of where we are today, where we've been, and then a little glimpse at where we're heading. Does anyone have any questions around AI or screen reading use of AI.
What's
the command for the center picture?
The command for what we call face in view, which helps me know if I'm in the camera, is insert space and then F for face and then O for open. But you could also ask FS Companion. So if you can remember insert space and F1, then you could type in, what's the command to have JAWS tell me if I'm in the camera? And it would interpret what you meant by that and then give you the commands. But it's insert space, F, and then O. Yes. Any other questions, thoughts, observations? I am curious. I think we have a couple minutes left. What would any of you like to see AI do for your life? Like, what would be things that you could think would be beneficial to help you to live your life successfully? Cook dinner? That could be one. Clean the house. Okay, so we have Roomba, right? We have robot vacuums. I can see automatic ovens and things coming on the way where you just give it a command, cook the lasagna, and it maybe has a system connected to your refrigerator, your freezer that pulls out the right thing. It knows the temperature. All you have to do is just maybe throw it in the oven and it knows how long to cook it for and what temperature to use it on.
I saw something yesterday that talked about AI being able not only to help you do your groceries, but actually order the groceries on your grocery list without you doing too much.
Yeah, so AI helping you order your groceries, not just telling you what things are, but actually creating the order through your store. And that's exactly what I was saying about AI can help us perform tasks now. That's really the dawn of where we are, and the next phase of AI is completing action. So now the AI might, in your refrigerator, notice that the milk is gone and order you milk in your next batch of groceries. It can be, so yeah, scary is a word, and I heard scary used earlier. Scary because we don't understand it, right?
Yes.
Because we don't really know what's going on. So that's really where companies are trying to help us. And we're in the middle of this too, from the screen reader and assistive technology perspective. It's scary when we don't know what's happening. And so that's why I think this whole thing with AI performing tasks on your behalf has to be done very accessibly so that we can know what's going on, that we know what the AI is actually doing. And it's not a surprise when we thought it was ordering milk, but a 24-pack of Three Musketeers shows up on my doorstep instead. I mean, maybe that's a good thing, right? But we need to know what the AI is doing on our behalf.
And that's the scary part of it, by not knowing for sure what those checks and balances are going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary to not know all of the checks and balances. How are these large companies handling this? Let's not kid ourselves. AI companies are in a business, right? They need to make money. So it's not a philanthropic approach here, as much as sometimes they want you to believe that. They're still in it to make money. Now, they can make money by doing things that benefit us that we will be willing to pay for. But there has to be those checks and balances as part of it.
Awesome, Ryan.
All right.
Thank you very, very much.
I'll slide out of your way. Okay.
And to show our appreciation, I'm reaching out to you. Where are you?
Right here. Oh,
Cool.
Thank you.
You get a little koozie thing,
awesome.
and inside is a gift card.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Excellent. Thank you all. And I look forward to meeting you, and we'll talk tomorrow as well.
Well, that presentation definitely was not scary. It was awesome. Before we get on to our next presenters and explore some new frontiers to independence, we're going to do a door prize. We have here a $25 gift card, and I do believe that it is to Amazon, where they do not yet do our shopping for us, but I won't be surprised. The door prize drawing will be done by one of our TAD board members who actually and this I find amazing, actually created a website that would put in all of our names and generate the winner randomly, of course. And I just find that awesome. So, Jacob, do you have a winner? I should have said, Jacob, do you have a microphone?
Okay, I'm there. Wait, yeah, there. I'm gonna draw the winner. It's gonna announce it through here. So give me 1 second.
Chuck Winstead, winner of the door prize.
Oh wow, is he here?
Chuck here. Okay,
Oh.
I'll draw another winner then.
This door prize goes to Corey Markham. They've won the door
Oh.
prize.
Yay, Corey. Wow, that was very innovative. So, speaking of innovations, we are now going to hear from two more of our TAD board members, Joe Hodge and Lonnie Swafford. And they're going to talk to us about AI and exploring some new frontiers to independence. So, Lonnie, Joe, take it away.
You do the intro. Corey, raise your hand. Doug, find
Yo, You'll check the mic. 1, 2. Is this thing on? It's Joe and Lonnie Swafford, and we're about to drop the bomb. We're here for NFBK, the Tech Division crew. Got a presentation on AI, and we're gonna see it through. We're talking AI, yeah, you know the deal. Making access digital, making it all real. From text to speech to seeing the whole scene. This is the future, yo. You know what we mean, yeah. We're talking AI, yeah, you know the deal. Making access digital, making it all real. From text to speech to seeing the whole scene. This is the future, yo. You know what we mean. First, we'll start the tour. Check the competition. A bunch of different models, all on a mission. You got that ChatGPT. It's famous, yeah, that's true. A notebook, a limb for studying what you do. We got perplexity. It tries to find the facts, but stack them all together in one model leads the pack. That's right. We're talking Gemini, the one that's built the best. It's integrated, smart, puts all the rest to the test. But talk is cheap, so let's get to the proof. I'm about to raise the accessible digital roof. Check the site in Ozark. AI is built for screen readers. It'll make a blind user cry. Tears of joy, that is. Cause the access is so clean. AI powered searching, the best you've ever seen. Yeah, we're talking AI. Yeah, you know the deal. Making access digital makes us the future. Yo, you know what we mean. Yeah. Now I'm pulling out my phone and it ain't that fruity brand. I'm rocking talk back on this Android in my hand. They say iOS is simple, say voiceover's all you need. But that's a walled up garden planting a limited seed. I'm about to snap a photo, click, yeah, what's it gonna be? I'm sending it to Gemini. Tell me what you see. Yeah, Joe, tell him. While voiceover's tracking focus stuck inside his box. Gemini with talk back is knocking off their socks. It's reading text, describing faces, catching all the vibes, giving info that other phone just can't describe. This ain't just a person smiling, this is carrying your mom looking proud. That's the Gemini difference, saying it loud. So NFBK, that's the rundown, that's our presentation. AI is the key for the blind of the nation. With Joe and Lonnie, and we're signing off for real. Tech Division, NFBK, that's the AI deal. Yeah. We're talking AI, yeah, you know the deal. Making access digital, making it all real. From text to speech to seeing the whole scene. This is the future, yo, you know what we mean. Yeah.
We're done. We're done. I think that was a great summary.
So that was all AI right there. Like the voice, the instruments, all of it was made with the app called Suno AI. So everything you heard there was it. So actually even the song itself, I wrote it in Gemini. which is why I said it was the best, because I was like, it needs to gloat a little, right? So it took the lyrics, gave me like a rap, and then I took that rap into Suno AI, and then it created the beat, the voices, everything, and all that was done yesterday within 2 minutes and like 30 seconds. So like that's crazy, right? Like so it's amazing what AI can do. So Lonnie and I are going to kind of go through this presentation with you and talk about different AI options, because there's sadly no one option that can do everything. So what we have is a bunch of different options that I call them sort of tools in a toolbox, right? So, for example, Notebook LM, what the song referenced there, is a research tool like that you can kind of use to keep notes and then create a summary. So, like I use Notebook LM for work. What I do is I have a thing where I kind of keep a notebook of things that happen that I need to keep track of throughout a project. So then I can create a summary at the end of that project or at any given time of things that I've done, things I need to still do. It takes all my notes and just categorizes it for me. And then there's something called Perplexity, which is really great for research. So, for example, if you're in college and you're writing a term paper, one thing that Perplexity does that I've seen that I like a lot is that it will give you your sources. So it'll do the research, it'll search the web, kind of go out and grab all these resources, and it will like actually cite them for you. So you can then drill into those different links and you can figure out exactly what you want to do. Of course, probably the most popular is ChatGPT. Lonnie's going to talk about that here in a second. And then there's Gemini as well, which we just heard about. And then there's also Copilot from Microsoft that's really coming along and actually growing as we speak. A lot of these AI things, so like Copilot, Copilot, Gemini, they're built into the operating systems. They're actually starting to build these into, so Gemini with Android, for example, it's almost everywhere you can look. It's in Gmail, it's in Chrome. It's going to be part of the whole operating system experience. It's in Photos now, and I'm going to show that briefly in a minute. You're seeing things like ChatGPT build their own browser, Perplexity as well. So these AI things are coming and changing how they're delivering. You used to just have to have an app or go to their website. Now you can download a browser and use them for any little thing. So with that, I'm going to move over to Lonnie, who's going to talk about ChatGPT for a little bit here.
Thanks, Joe. So I first heard about ChatGPT a few years ago from a friend, and he was explaining how great it was, and I thought it was ridiculous and not necessary, and really didn't give it much thought. And then I downloaded it maybe a year and a half ago, and I was really just messing around with it, creating poems and things. But then I really started getting into its practical uses. So just a brief history of it, or what it is, for those of you who may not be familiar. It does help you write, plan. It helps you with anything that you really can think of every day. I have used it in work. I've used it at home. Ashley the other day said, we need to get a new vacuum. I said, oh, I have a document for that. Because I went and said, I want to get a new Shark vacuum, give me price points and comparisons. I want it to do this, this, and this, and put it in a Word document. And I had it within about a minute. So it's something that I like to think of your best friend who has a doctorate in the universe. So it's great. I love it. It was developed in 2022 and later launches. Of course, it just kept getting better. So we're on ChatGPT 5. And we have it within that, the features for auto, and it can kind of determine, do I need to think about this longer? A lot of times I will use the thinking option because I really want it to give me its best answer to do its best work. Some of the things you can use it for, you might not want to ask it for a budget. Have you considered not buying anything? So, but you can use it for planning a shopping list. I have used it for things that are technical and non-technical. So I had an issue the other day with the computer, and what I like about it, it's really helpful, is I can say, okay, I want to do this. I'm having a problem with like a startup entry in Windows. I am not at all technical about going into like the computer's registry and messing around. So I can send it a screenshot and it'll say, okay, great, you're here. So now go click this. And I can just keep, sending screenshots of it, and it'll guide all the way through to do what I need to do. So it's great for troubleshooting issues for computers or anything that you may be having difficulty with on your phone. And what you can do is tell it, hey, I'm blind or I'm visually impaired and I need help with this. And when it gives you the information back, it does it in a way that is tailored to that. So it'll be very descriptive about what it's telling you. As an example, I used it to install a new smart lock or to program a new smart lock. Before I would have had to ask Ashley to help or someone with vision to help. And I said, I have this quick set lock. Here's the brand and model. I'm blind. I need to set it up. And it said, you're going to take this door cover off, and you'll feel these buttons. One is round, one is square. So it's very helpful in things like that. Looking at things that you can do that for work, for example, I have been recently training a new hire employee, and a lot of our material was not accessible. It was a lot of pictures. So I copied the file into ChatGPT and said, okay, I'm training a new blind person. I need this in an accessible screen reader format with bullet points, sections, and headings in a Word document. And I had it back within about a minute. I will say, though, it can be addictive. I do spend a lot of time on it because I like to, research things. I'll just look up random things. Tell me about the history of computers, or compare. One thing I did the other day was compare all of the assistive technology from 1975 through today, as far as how it's evolved. Give me names of speech boxes and all that, and it did it. I mean, it's pretty cool stuff. So looking at it, you can use it for recreation. You can use it for work, whatever you can think of there. I really enjoy putting things on Facebook with it, but I have indicated, it is ChatGPT. Some people have thought it's me, and I've said no, it's not. So, there's that. As far as what you want to be careful of, hallucinations. You may have heard that term. So, a lot of things that you may get back may not always be correct. As an example, I said, I want a audio described version of the movie War Games. And some of the stuff I got back, it was like, that did not happen in that movie. So I know that that wasn't there. So it's not, it's daydreaming aggressively, I guess. But it's very helpful for doing things like that. If you are, double check, always fact check, never depend on it as guaranteed information, because it does make mistakes. And it even says so when you're using it with your iPhone. So if you were to go into Siri and you can, previously we would say, hey Siri, do this. You can say, ask ChatGPT, and it will give you the response. And then at the end, it'll say, check important info for mistakes. So it knows that it's not always right. I was thinking about, AI in general, and the older I get, the less patience I have. And I'm reminded of the IVRs, the touch tone phones, or the, the interactive voice response when you have to talk to it. And it messes up and it says, this is, you wanted this and you really didn't. So a lot of times now I just want to sometimes have a really frank discussion with ChatGPT, because it happens there too. You'll ask it something and it'll come back with something completely not what you wanted. And I'll tell it, you got it wrong, you got to fix it. But I say it in a different way. So, I think as a blind person, really, it's opened up a whole new world of accessibility to me. Because I can take screenshots of websites on my iPhone, or I can use it to create documents and to quickly search things, to give me comparisons and things that I normally it would take me hours to do. So I'll get into a little bit more with Gemini in a bit, but I just wanted to kind of go over some of the highlights of ChatGPT. Certainly, I'll be available after we're finished. If you have specific questions, we sorry, the mic went out. We could do some demos of what you can do with it, what you shouldn't do with it. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Joe.
All right, so we're going to start with Gemini here, as Lonnie said. So we're going to kind of get into a little bit of the history. So Gemini started out a little bit probably in 20. So Google's always kind of been doing data gathering. They're sort of a data company, right? They collect a lot of information. They own obviously the Google search, which was the #1 search engine, and so they've been collecting data on everyone in this room probably for years. With Gemini, it was just a further extension. They originally called it Bard, not to be confused with our Bard service at NLS, right? But they changed the name, thank goodness, to Gemini last year, I believe it was. So the reason I particularly like Gemini the most, like if I'm using it, is we're gonna get into where I geek out here in a minute of showing off a little bit of Android. And so sort of, Byron, you mentioned Siri earlier, and the thing is, like, Siri has not gotten smarter since 2012 when it was released, right? It's gotten dumber, and that's sad. And it makes me sad. So especially because I've given Apple a lot of money over the years. And so with Gemini, it's built into Android. So I can just hold down the side button and talk to it and get an answer. And that's on my phone, my watch, earbuds, pretty much anything I use. And I'm having a conversation with AI instantly, rather than having to open up an app, for example, on the iPhone. So we're going to kind of demo that here in a second, but I want to show you first an audio overview that Lonnie put together. JP, I think you have that.
One about the canes.
Oh yeah, one about the canes.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty revolutionary, actually. It's about how mobility is changing for travelers who are blind or have low vision.
Yeah, it's this really interesting blend, isn't it? You've got these fundamental human skills meeting some seriously cutting edge AI.
Exactly. So our mission today.
Well, we're diving into sources that all seem to point one way. AI is a fantastic co-pilot, a really powerful one.
But, and this is the key bit, not a replacement for the old tools, right?
Absolutely not. That's the core message we need to unpack. Why does, the simple white cane still feel like the most valuable player here?
Okay, let's get into that. If AI can scan everything around you, why do all these experts insist the cane and basic orientation and mobility skills O&M are still non-negotiable?
It boils down to touch, to tactile feedback. The good idea, everyone agrees on, is mastering that cane.
Because
it tells you things AI just can't.
Yeah.
Not the same way. Yeah. AI might see a curb, maybe, but the cane feels its exact height. It tells you if the ground is bumpy or wet, or if there's loose gravel right now, through direct contact.
I see. Real-time physical information.
Precisely. Things AI, especially relying on just cameras or GPS, often misses.
Okay, that makes sense for the cane itself. But what about the other O&M skills the sources emphasize? Things like trailing a wall or using a sighted guide effectively. Why so critical if tech is advancing?
Right, that's the human-centered skill set. Think of it as your built-in resilience.
Resilience, how so?
Because technology fails. It just does. Batteries die, signals drop, apps crash.
Yeah.
Maybe it's raining hard and the sensors get confused.
Okay.
When that happens, you have to be able to function safely on your own. O&M skills mean you're not stranded. They minimize danger, they minimize dependence. It's about confidence, really.
So the human skills are the always on, reliable foundation.
Exactly. The tech builds on top of that.
So let's talk about that top layer. What is AI bringing to the table? What's this enhanced awareness look like?
It's about extending your senses, essentially, giving you foresight. We're seeing these hybrid systems now, advanced sensors mounted perhaps on the cane or worn on the body.
Hybrid systems.
Okay, and what do they do?
Well, they often use AI, sometimes running on pretty powerful little chips like the Jetson Nano, to process visual information. They figure out depth, distance.
And tell the user how.
Often through sound, like 3D spatial audio beeps. So you might hear a tone to your left that gets higher pitched as you get closer to an obstacle, something maybe just outside your cane's reach.
So it's like early warning for things further away or maybe head height.
Exactly. It expands that bubble of awareness. And for navigation, especially indoors or complex areas, it gets really clever. Some systems use robotics algorithms. SLAM is a big one. Simultaneous localization and mapping.
SLAM sounds complex.
It kind of is, but the idea is powerful. The device builds a map of an unknown place, like a new building you just walked into.
While at the same time figuring out exactly where you are on that map it's currently building. It's like having hyper accurate indoor GPS where satellites don't work.
Wow. Okay. That's a definite step up. But now we need to touch on the bad ideas the sources warn about. What happens if you lean too heavily on this tech?
The biggest pitfall mentioned is trying to use GPS for like fine-grained detail, micro navigation.
Why is that bad?
GPS just isn't accurate enough for that.
Yeah.
It might get you within, say, 10 or 15 feet, which is fine for driving.
But not for walking down a sidewalk.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It won't tell you about a pothole right in front of you or a single step down or temporary construction barriers. Plus, signals get really messy in cities, urban canyons. Or forget about it indoors.
Right. The signal just bounces around or disappears.
Yeah. So relying only on GPS for walking directions, pretty dangerous.
And then there's the practical stuff. Cost. Battery life.
Huge factors.
Yep.
Some of these high-end systems can cost, well, over $1,000. That immediately puts them out of reach for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a major barrier.
And battery life. It's a constant worry. What if it dies halfway through your journey? The cane. Well, it never needs charging, does it? Like a trusty old book. Always works.
Huh, good analogy. Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the takeaway for you, the listener?
It really seems to be about synergy, a combined approach.
Yeah, the future isn't choosing one or the other. It's using both. AI gives you that wider scope, that extra layer of information.
Enhances your awareness.
But it's the person using their O&M skills and the trusty cane who provides the moment-to-moment safety, the reliability, the ground truth, literally.
Perfectly put. AI is the co-pilot, maybe the navigator giving you helpful readouts, but the human with the cane is the pilot making the critical landing decisions. Those O&M skills, still absolutely indispensable.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. AI vision is getting incredibly good, incredibly fast. It can spot obstacles, read signs, but what complex decision, what nuanced judgment call in mobility? What's going to be the last human skill that AI just can't quite replicate? Something to ponder.
Thank you, JP. So that was AI. I was thinking about the deep dive, which is the name of this feature in Gemini. So what I did was come up with a topic that I thought would be important to discuss today. And then I asked Gemini to prepare deep research on comparing the use of the white cane against AI, pros and cons. And it took about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. It checked 22 different websites for sourcing. And it does list all of those sources in the actual report that it provides so that you can see that. But then one of the additional features is to create an audio overview. And that's what you just heard. So that wasn't actually people. I used this once before when we had a presentation provided by our transit system, TARC, Transit Authority of River City. They had provided an 85-page slideshow of proposed changes, and obviously that was all not accessible. So I did the same thing, and I got a nice audio overview back on that. So that's where it can really help open things up as well with accessibility. And that was checked for accuracy, and it was accurate. So that deep dive, I've used it quite a bit because I can get back a 20-page report from the research, but then maybe I just want a 5-minute overview. So I really enjoy that feature. And I hope that it helped to illustrate that this particular topic, that AI is great, but it's a combined approach with the cane.
So let's talk about some of the tools that Gemini has, and ChatGPT that Lonnie mentioned has a lot of these same tools actually. So, but I'm going to just kind of touch on Gemini's because it's what's in front of me. So the first thing is something called Nano Banana, which is a photo creation tool. So I don't know about any of you in this room, but I was born blind. And one thing that always has bothered me is not being able to communicate in a visual way to my sighted friends. And so Ashley is in the room probably somewhere. She knows what I'm going to talk about here in a second. I love to take pictures of my cat. And
yes, you do. and they're adorable.
And so I will have him be friends with Yogi Bear. So Nano Banana is basically like I can upload my cat's image and then I can prompt it. So I can say, have Kenzie, that's my cat's name, and Yogi Bear eating a picnic basket in Jellystone Park. And then I can submit that image and it will create an image for me. And then I can then share that to like Facebook or whatever, right? So when the Cubs and Brewers were playing, I had them both sitting outside of, I call it Miller Park. I forget what the sponsor of the day is in Milwaukee. But I had them sitting outside eating a hot dog and drinking a beer before the game. And it's really cool just to be able to create and it's amazing the engagement I get. I guess the thing that I love about it is I will go to work or I'll actually go home for the holidays or something, and somebody will talk to me about one of those pictures, and it makes me just so happy because like it's an outlet that I didn't have before. It's an art form in a sense that I just couldn't take advantage of before AI. Now you do have to be careful because sometimes even with the AI descriptions and stuff, apparently Kinsey looked more like a saber-toothed tiger in one, even though it told me it was a cat still. Like it's just some things like about his tail or different things that it just doesn't pick up on that side of people can still see. So you have that. There's something called deep research. So not to be confused with deep dive that Lonnie was just talking about, but deep research is really cool. I don't know if anybody in the room knows Jerry Wheatley, but one of the things Jerry loves to do is he loves to research his family history. And so one thing I did is I put into Gemini, I said, can you tell me about the Wheatley family in Ragwick, Kentucky? And it took about 8 minutes, but it went out and like found all the courthouse documents and put together the earliest thing I think it came up with, and Jerry actually said that was true, was around 1898. There was some sort of movement into Kentucky from the Wheatley clan, and it was pretty cool to kind of see what it actually came back with. So if you ever want to just know a little bit about your family history, if you give it a little prompt like that, it usually can come back with something. Now it did get a little off track, or Jerry didn't know some of the history it gave, but he was like, it was still amazing just in 8 minutes what it came up with. And you could do the same, like I said, on GPT as well. There's something called VEO3, which is its video description. So you can create an 8-second video clip, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's remarkable. Like I had, again, Kinsey, I have a problem. I took him out and he was sitting on the back of a lion, and they were in the Amazon forest, or like the Amazon, I guess. And so you could hear the lion roar, and you could hear him meow, and then you could also hear like a bunch of birds, and it was like very real. And you could imagine like Hollywood using this sort of technology in the future rather than having to do a bunch of stuff that they're doing currently, right? So you could, I don't know, it's amazing where we're going to be going in the future. So I'm going to do something a little different. today. I'm going to use my Bose speaker and see if you guys can hear this in the back. Give me 1 second here to turn this on. I'm going to turn it up. Rather than hold the microphone up to a speaker, I'm going to see if it gets loud enough for you all in the back.
Home screen 1 of 3.
I don't want to. Sorry, I don't want to like kill everybody with the noise here, but is that? Can you guys hear it in the back?
Photos. Music volume set to 68%.
Can you guys hear that in the back? Okay. So what I have here is my Pixel 10 Pro XL to be official. So Google has a lot of built-in AI and just built-in features. So they have something called photo guidance. Lonnie does not know I did this earlier. Lonnie, do I have your permission to use your photo during this presentation? I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, I guess since I'm here and you're asking.
Okay. It's going to ruin everything. Okay, so so I'm going to go into my photos. I took a picture of Lonnie earlier up here without him knowing. And I did. So we're going to. All right, sorry. I need to stop moving my finger around. Okay. So I'm going to do an image description here. So I'm just going to do my gesture for that. Oh. Let's try this again. There we go.
Image description. Here's a description of the image. The image shows a man seated at a table, seen from the side. He has fair skin and short hair, and he is wearing a black jacket with red stripes on the sleeves. Under the jacket, he has a gray shirt. He is looking towards the left side of the frame. In the background, there's a table with other people seated, though they are partially obscured. Behind the man, there is a poster on a stand that has the words National Federation of the Blind on it. The room appears to be in a conference or meeting setting, with neutral colored walls and carpeting. The arrow on the lower right is probably for navigation purposes. In horizontal pages.
All right, so it just described the photo that I took from my camera roll earlier in the day. Now, let's just say I didn't want the people in the background in the photo that I post to Facebook. So I'm going to, I could, sorry, in this dialogue here, I want to describe something real quick. I can ask Gemini another follow-up question about something that it told me in this photo, or I can type to it, but I don't really need any of that at this moment. So I'm going to close this. So now I'm going to double tap on the photo itself to open it up. Now, sorry, it's hard to do this with one hand. All right, so there's an edit button I'm going to find here at the bottom. No, I got it. All right. So I clicked on edit. So now what I can do is there's a thing at the bottom of the screen that says help me edit. And what it's going to do is bring up an edit box where I can ask it or tell it a prompt. So I'm going to
rotate 90 degrees clock, mirror. Crop to aspect ratio, straighten.
Give me 1 second here. I'm doing okay. I'm going to hold the mic with my left hand, and there we go. I'm typically right-handed, and I'm doing this backwards. Okay, so now this will help me. Okay, so in here we have a bunch of tools that we can use. So there's things that we've always heard about, like cropping, rotating, etc. All this stuff, though, if I were to use it, would be inaccessible because once I click on crop, it's going to just be something that you would have to like scrub and use the screen to do, which isn't going to help us. However, I can click on this help me edit, and I'm going to tell it. I'm going to turn off my Braille keyboard. I'm just going to talk to it. Okay. So now.
Help me edit. Edit box. Help me edit. Showing English. 0.
I'm going to type in here.
0. Use voice typing.
There we go. Edit the external people in the background.
Use voice typing.
Okay. Edit the people in the background, leaving the focus on the man.
Voice typing.
Okay. So now I asked it to edit the background, like where it's going to crop out the people that it was kind of had picked up on. So I'm going to go ahead and send this. And it's going to take that prompt and it's going to do what I asked of it. So now if I touch at the top of the screen, I'm going to give it a few more seconds since I'm on cellular to kind of run this prompt. Okay, so it should be done now. So there is an important thing here. There is an undo option at the very top. So if you don't like what it does, you can always undo it.
Save as copy.
but now I can also save it as a copy. So currently, anything that it's done is still just on my phone. It's not in the camera roll or anything like that. But here we go. We're going to do the description.
Image description. A man sits in a chair facing left in what appears to be a conference room. He is wearing a black windbreaker jacket with red stripes on the sleeves over a white shirt. The man has fair skin and short brown hair that is thinning on top. Behind him, a white man stands on the top The room has a low ceiling with fluorescent lighting panels. In the background, there are tables with items on them, suggesting a meeting or conference setting. The chair he's sitting on is a modern design with a dark gray cushioned seat and back. The overall atmosphere is professional and well lit. In horizontal pavement.
But as you heard there, other than Lonnie's getting older, yeah, that's going to completely backfire the next presentation. It told me I had a double chin, so it's all right, Lonnie. It's okay. Truth hurts sometimes, you know? but what you heard there is the focal point now is on Lonnie, right? Like it did still get the tables in the background, but a lot of that other stuff that it talked about has gone away, which is really cool. So if I take a picture of, for example, my cat and I got some, I don't know, pants or laundry on the floor because I'm a bachelor and, you know, messy. If I wanted to crop that stuff out, I could, and then put that image on Facebook now. Where before, if I took a picture and I realized, for example, on the iPhone, if I took a picture of that, and use Be My Eyes or something, I can't crop that out. I'd have to call Ira or some service to help me do it. Now with this photos in Gemini and on the Pixel or across Android in general, you can do this task on your own. And it really is super empowering to be able to do something like that. So I'm going to kind of shift away a little bit. I'm going to just get out of that screen. I'm going to shift away a little bit. And actually, I want to show one more thing while I got my home screen up here. So as a blind person, we don't always know how a UI looks, right? So like a lot of times you sit down, you're just engaging with your screen reader. You don't really know like colors of things. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a talkback gesture here. Oh, hold on a second. All right, there we go.
Top back menu, actions, in list, describe screen.
And I'm going to describe my screen, and I hope it does it this time. The problem with AI is it doesn't always do it the same way every time, but I'm going to hope that this works. So let's see.
Screen description. The screen shows the home screen of an Android phone. At the top left it says Friday, October 24th and 48 degrees Fahrenheit. There are several app icons including File Manager Plus, Indigo, Soundscape, Error Explorer, Lookout, RScan, and Personified Health. There is also a weather widget showing 46 degrees. An Ask Gemini widget is present with options for video and lib. At the bottom are several app icons including Play Store, Gmail, Photos, and YouTube. Below this are icons for phone, messages, and Chrome. At the very bottom is a search bar. The Photos icon is highlighted in horizontal pavement.
So as you heard there, it said the Photos icon is highlighted. And it actually told me yesterday that was green. I was hoping it would actually do that again. But it gives you some knowledge about things that you didn't actually know otherwise. I use this in the weather app in particular. Ryan was kind of talking about this a little bit with the JAWS stuff, but I'll use like the Pixel weather app and pull up the weather map and just ask it if there's any rain close, rather than have to like call out cities to a voice assistant or something. So it's super helpful on Wave 3. That's a local news station here. You can actually bring up they have a weather channel that streams 24 hours a day. And you can actually do an image description on the video and you can hear what they're actually showing. So it'll say like Radcliffe, which is a city in Kentucky, and it'll give like the weather for you. Now, the only thing is you have to do it every time, right? Like it doesn't consistently update, but it is coming. There's something also on my home screen that you heard it say called Gemini Live or Talk to Gemini, I think it said. But what that does is it's super exciting. However, the technology has sort of limited it a little bit. So what it does is it shares your screen, or you can actually use your camera, either one, to talk with Gemini. So if I were to, for example, bring it up and I wanted to share my screen, I could ask it questions about my screen. So take, for example, I'm a big Kentucky Wildcats fan. Sorry, Sandra. And they're getting ready to start their basketball season, right? So if I bring up the basketball schedule on the Kentucky Athletics website, instead of like going through there and reading date by date, I can just tell Gemini from that screen that it's looking at, add all these games to my calendar, and it does it. It's amazing. Like I love that feature so much because it saves me so much time in doing actual work and like prompting. The other thing that you can actually do that I've done a lot is I watch a lot of sports, and barring there's a caveat to this. If you're watching it through the apps like ESPN or something like that, a lot of times what they're doing is they are not allowing you to take screenshots. So the AI can't give you any pertinent information because it's just a black screen. But if you use like the Chrome browser or Samsung Internet browser or Microsoft Edge, whatever browser you want, and you stream the game that way, it doesn't have the same block. So you're able to actually use Gemini, and you can ask it things like, who has the ball? What is the score? How much time is left? So if you're watching it on TV, if you don't have a radio broadcast or whatever, you can actually still learn things about the game. I was watching a rugby match. I'm a big rugby fan out of Australia, and they have an app that actually lets you use the app and the video sharing feed. And I said, what does the weather look like? And it said, didn't you hear the announcer? They said it was raining earlier. And I was like, thanks for being mean, but sure. So things like that are where this technology excites me as we move forward, right? Like when you're actually watching a game, with Google, the power of Google behind it, one advantage you get, I was watching a basketball game earlier, and it'd actually tell me, if I was watching with Copilot on Edge, it would just tell me the number of the uniform it saw. It didn't really have any context to tell me who that number 23 was. But when I was watching it with Gemini, it said LeBron James has the ball, for example. And so that's where I think the beauty is, like, if you want to know who has the ball or understand something, you're going to be able to do that in the very future, I think, much easier. And I hope companies, I keep writing ESPN, and I'm like, guys, like, we got to figure this out with screenshots. But anyway, I'll get off that horse. So where we're going with all this, with all these services, is really just amazing. We move at such a fast pace. 6 months from now, it's going to all these tools are going to be doing something different than they're doing today. And I want to kind of get into a few other tools before we transition over to sort of shopping. So I talked about Perplexity earlier. I'm not going to spend tons of time, but it is something that's growing. They have their own browser. They do a lot of research aspect to it. It's been around for about 4 or 5 years. All of these services have, so Perplexity you can use for free. I think you can do like 5 queries or something like that a day. It's a small amount. All of these options, Gemini, GPT, all of them have a professional or pro model that you can pay and get more. They're called tokens typically. So a token is, I'm not going to bore you with the technology behind it, but the point is if you want to use them one more than the other, I would maybe look at buying a professional model if you start running out of tokens or it tells you it can't do it, because you will actually be able to use more. You can use it more. So when you buy a Pixel 10 Pro, not that I'm trying to sell you an Android phone, you actually get a free year of Gemini Pro automatically. So it's kind of a nice perk. The final thing I'm going to shift into before we get to shopping is Copilot. So Copilot's made by Microsoft. I mentioned that earlier. And one of the nice things that Microsoft is doing, much like Gemini, and this is where I feel like Apple's falling behind a lot, is they are building it right into the core of Windows. So Copilot has access to, I do a lot of video gaming, and I play a lot of PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 games that never had accessibility baked in. But the nice thing is with JAWS, with Copilot Vision, it's called, you can ask AI a lot of questions and learn a lot about the game that you didn't know before. So, for example, one thing that I do a lot with Copilot is I will ask it, what does the setting screen say? Or how many down to difficulty? So if I want to change my difficulty to rookie because I'm not very good at the game anymore or something, I can do that. One thing that Copilot released about a year ago that excited me is something called, it's in Microsoft Edge, and it's called Copilot Vision. And the practical use for this is super cool. So you first have to turn on Copilot in Edge. And then once you do that, there will be a checkbox that says enable Copilot Vision. And the thing that you can do is if you go to Amazon and you search for something, so say I search for AirPod Pro 3s, I can then, instead of like having to navigate down by heading, I can literally just ask, how much are the AirPod Pro 3s? And it will tell me how much they are on the page. And then I can say, can you search and find a better deal? And it will actually search the web, and it might tell me there's a better deal at Walmart or something like that, which is pretty remarkable. And then of course the future will be it'll just be able to buy it for you once you find the one you want. So it makes navigating much simpler. So that transitions us into shopping and sort of these other AI options for that. So we're gonna do. So there's a lot of options here. So as far as things that we haven't really talked about, like Ray-Ban Meta glasses, we gave those away last year at the convention, and they are getting better every day. So they're glasses that you wear. It's made by Meta. I actually used them at a conference earlier this week, and they had a PowerPoint, and I just said, Meta, what's in front of me? And it told me there was a PowerPoint, and it described the slide, but it didn't give me a lot of detail. It's kind of a little vague sometimes, but I just said, can you describe more of the slide to me? And it actually broke it down, which was really cool. The other thing that you can do with them is you can ask for Meta to give you kind of a quick summary of just different facts. So if maybe you're walking along on a sidewalk and you look over to the left and you say, hey Meta, what's that store? As long as it can capture something from the sign or something, it'll usually tell you. It is a little, to me, I don't use them a lot just because I feel like it's a little slow. I'm a pretty good mobilities person, so I just find the phone stuff to be faster at this moment. But I will say, in the year that I've used Meta AI, it's catching up faster. And that's the thing about these things. Like I said, 6 months, everything changes. There's Apple Intelligence, so or Apple Intelligence, as I like to call it. So pretty much Apple, with the purchase of my iPhone 16 Pro Max, promised us that they were going to do Apple Intelligence, which also included like a Siri. A lot of that stuff still hasn't come out yet, sadly. But the things they do have are writing tools, which all these things that I've talked about, Perplexity, GPT, Gemini, that Lonnie and I've kind of gone over, they all have writing tools. You're able to, sorry, the microphone's kind of cutting out. You're able to use these things to, if a lot of us, or at least me, I'll admit it, I'm a bad speller. Is anybody else a bad speller in the room? All right, thank you. Thank you for not leaving me on the hook. So you can say things like correct my grammar, and it will, it'll take your prompt that you wrote in and it'll actually fix it. So Apple already has this built in as well. It's probably their best Apple Intelligence feature, I would say, at this moment, as far as the writing tools go. They also do have something for photos where you can go in and it'll pull up objects from a photo and give you more information about it. Similar to what Google does with Circle to Search. It's the same concept. And then I'm going to let Lonnie talk a little bit here about Alexa and their sort of Echo Plus here in 1 second. But Amazon also has something called Rufus. I do want to, before we get into this, I want to show you all, I have Amazon pulled up on my phone. Amazon just released this. I don't know if Lonnie, if you've seen this. We didn't talk about this part. I just thought of it this morning. So I'm going to get out of my, hold on 1 second. I'm going to go to my Amazon page here. And I've searched for Sony headphones. And so there's something here that says, here are the highlights. And it's basically like HSN on steroids, because it's about any product that you want. So this is the Sony WHM XM6 over-ear headphones. So here we go.
Here are the highlights 207. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Christopher, my fellow AI-generated personality, to talk about one of the most anticipated headphone releases of the year, the Sony WH-1000XM6. Christopher, what makes these headphones special?
These are really interesting because Sony's taken their noise cancellation to a whole new level. They've packed in 12 microphones and a processor that's 7 times faster than the previous model. But what's really cool is they worked with actual mastering engineers to fine-tune the sound.
When you say they worked with mastering engineers, what does that mean for someone who just wants to listen to their music?
Think of it like having a professional sound engineer making sure every song sounds exactly the way it was meant to be heard. The carbon fiber drivers they've used help deliver really precise sound from the deepest bass to the highest notes.
Now, I understand there's some clever technology that adapts to your surroundings.
Yes, that's one of my favorite features. The headphones actually monitor your environment in real time and adjust accordingly. If you're wearing glasses or a hat, or if the air pressure changes on an airplane, they automatically optimize the sound. Pretty clever stuff.
What are customers saying about these?
From customer feedback, the sound quality is getting a lot of praise. They're saying they can hear every detail in their music. The build quality and lightweight design are also highlighted in reviews. Though interestingly, comfort seems to be a mixed bag. Some find them super comfortable while others don't. Some customers mention the ear cups being a bit shallow.
Who would you say these Sony WH-1000XM6 headphones are perfect for?
These are ideal for people who want top-tier noise cancellation and really care about sound quality. They're great for frequent travelers too, with that 30-hour battery life and the way they adjust to air pressure changes. But if you're sensitive about fit or want deeper ear cups, you might want to try them on first.
Well, that wraps up our look at these fascinating headphones. Thanks for sharing your expertise, Christopher. I learned a lot about what makes a great pair of noise-canceling headphones tick.
So rather than have to move down by heading, right? That was kind of a fun way. And plus, you know, hearing someone British talk about something makes me just want to buy them more. I don't know. Like there's something about that. But I'm going to have Lonnie talk a little bit about Amazon or Echo Plus real quick.
Well, I wanted to, talk about the most recent Alexa Plus. Now, of course, Alexa's been out for many, many years. And last year, Alexa Plus was rolled out as to a pilot, and then it broadened out to more folks. So you may have seen an email come in a few months ago that said, go ahead and try it. It's evolving. And I really like it for shopping. It is more intuitive when I use it for routines. So as an example, I have the complete Ring security system. I have cameras, the doorbell, motion sensors, all of that. And with Alexa Plus, now I can tell it only do this if it's snowing outside, you know, or if it's raining outside, or if it's day or night. So at night, lock the front door. So it really introduces more deep logic, more thinking about what you're trying to do. Before Alexa Plus, it was just straight Alexa, what is this? And you get the answer. And then you have to say Alexa and then ask another question. This is more like having a conversation. So you can say Alexa and ask your question, and it will continue to listen for a little bit if you want it to, and then you can just follow up with another question and keep going like that. It's better if you. Oftentimes, I'll try to start a sentence and I'll make a mistake or mess up with what I'm trying to say, and then you would have to say Alexa stop or Alexa cancel, and now it's very intuitive so that it knows, and you can start your sentence over and it picks that up. And what I like too is it's remembering, which could be good or bad depending on what it remembers. But it does remember my preferences. So when I am looking for something, for a particular item on Amazon, I can ask it to look for those things, and it will do that and give me some options, and then it will say, "Now this is like the power bank that you looked at a week ago," so it remembers your history and it'll suggest different things. So it's a lot better. I know some folks have tried it, some folks didn't like it. But I found it to be a useful tool to a degree. But I really enjoy the integration with the smart devices. So I can turn off the TV with it. I can set up routines when it's bedtime to do certain things. So it's very useful in that regard. As far as the shopping is concerned, it is more descriptive. So when you're shopping and you say, I want to buy a thumb drive, you can say, and I want it to be 16 gig, USB 3, whatever you want to tell it. It'll give you some options, and then you can say, well, now tell me more about this one. And then you can say, compare it to the first one and give me the comparison of the two. So you can really get into more specifics and just have a conversation with it. And then, you can add it to your cart or buy it, whatever. So it's a very different experience than it would have been a year ago. So I really find it to be useful. I want to back up for just a second before we move on to the next segment and say that ChatGPT can also be fun. We've talked a lot about how serious it is and how you can use it for everyday things. We also use it for photo wars sometimes. For example, someone sent a photo of me on a camel. And I said, well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to do this. So we send things back and forth. And so it can be fun. It can be fun. You can send a photo to it, and it'll give you can say roast, and it'll roast the photo. It's quite interesting on the things that you hear. So we can certainly try to do some of that in the demo section. So just wanted to mention, it's not all about work and school and productivity. It can be very fun, and it can be very addictive.
So I think the biggest you sidetracked me here, but I think the biggest thing about AI that's about any of these that we've talked about is you get into an edit field and it just says, what do you want to do, right? And that's kind of overwhelming in my opinion. Like, what do you want to do today, or what, like, sort of prompt, ask me anything. Yeah, it's very, so I think the hardest thing for anybody sitting out there and to think about, because these things, in fact, I'm going to share one life tip that changed my life that I learned about 2 months ago. You can ask it for a text only menu to a place. So like, for example, I use Gemini and GPT both, and we went to Mama's Mustard and Pickles. And I used to just go to DoorDash. It's a barbecue restaurant here. I used to go to DoorDash or Uber Eats and just look at the menu there. And they don't always have everything. And I'm not saying this has everything, but what I did, rather than have to fight through DoorDash or Uber Eats, I just prompt the AI and I say, give me a text-only menu for Mama's Mustard and Pickles in Louisville, Kentucky. And it literally went out there and grabbed everything I needed and gave me the prices and everything in just a text-only format. And that has saved me, I'm just using that as an example, but that has saved me so much grief, because there's nothing more frustrating than finding a menu, or thinking you're going to find a menu and it's just a JPEG that's unlabeled or gives you no information. So rather than have to deal with that, I just use these AI things. But again, it's like just knowing what to ask. Like, there's so many things I think in daily life, or as long as you're like having fun, you don't even think about like how AI could be helping you in that situation, because it's a bit overwhelming. And they are trying to curb that a little bit with different prompts options that you can do now. I know like a lot of them will say, ask me this or ask me that, and it'll have like different things there. So I'm gonna switch over to something called InnoSearch. It's something we haven't talked about yet. Has anyone out there heard of InnoSearch? All right. We have a lot of shoppers in here. So one of the things that shopping, kind of a pain point of shopping for someone who's low vision or blind is all these places are different. You have to sign up for things or create an account, which can be accessible or not accessible. You have to learn a website. Things change, right? So there's lots. Amazon on the iPhone went through a period where I just wanted to throw my iPhone out the window, because Rufus would come up and like try to interfere, and I'm like, no, I don't want you, Rufus, like, go away. and it was exhausting trying to deal with Amazon. You would click on the product and it would actually bring up Rufus instead of bringing you into like learning about the product. So it was kind of annoying. So about that same time, innosearch.ai is the website. So it's INNOSEARCH. And you go to this website and I'm going to actually pull it up now. I have it.
Home, photos, Google Lens. Home screen 1 of 3.
I have it pulled up here.
Recent apps, photos 3 of 4. Amazon shopping for photos 3 of 4. Settings connected devices. Chrome 1 of 4.
All right, so I have it here.
Home,
And
AI,
I'm
your
going
ultimate shopping assistant. Find best deals and top products. Open the home page.
So we're going to kind of look around here on this website. So they've kind of they're trying to branch into different things. I think they have flights and they have shopping. So
Accessible digital services, empowering the underserved online, unable, simplicity. Everything is designed to be easy to use, so you can get what you need without confusion or extra steps. Unable, accessibility, a complete, start to finish experience where you can browse, shop, and check out without ever leaving the site. Unable, community.
Sorry, I'm going to stop it there. I love all the unlabeled alt text there, but hey, you know, they're trying to be accessible. So I'm not trying to make fun of them, but kind of. All right, so they have a number that you can call and use a GPT type AI phone option to buy things as well. So if you're not really great at using either Windows or Mac or Android or iOS, and you kind of want that sort of phone feel, you can actually call a number. I think it's 1-800. It'll tell me here.
Everything is designed, accessibility.
I have to get to it anyway to get where we're going. So
Easy shopping. Simple search, quick checkout, and essential info. No distractions. Smart AI help. Compare, discover, and massive selection. Billions of products. Shop now.
All right.
Plus 1-855 shop GPT.
There we go. It's 1-800 shop GPT. So that will get you the number for InnoSearch, but we're not going to use that. We're going to just use this website. So I'm going to go back to shop now.
Shop now.
And I'm going to double tap.
Search what to buy. For example, headphones, kitchen tools, editing, edit box, in search for products.
All right. So I'm going to get a little feedback from the people out there. What would you like me to search for? Anybody have something they want to look up? What is it?
Brunswick stew.
I don't even know what that is, but we're going to search for it. Hold on.
Search for products. Search.
Okay.
Search for products. Search for products. Accessible shopping millions of accessible shopping millions of search what to buy. Start dictation mode. Search what to buy. For example, 0 out of search. Use voice typing.
Brunswick stew.
Voice typing stop. Go. Shop. InnoSearch AI. Your
So
assistant.
I went ahead and typed in Brunswick stew in there, and now how about? Shh. Okay. All right. So what it's going to do now is put everything into a heading. My shut up command was not working there. All right. So
words, lines, paragraphs, headings.
So I'm going to move by headings. So this is going to be really nice. So I'm going to.
72 results for Brunswick stew.
Man, Byron, there's a lot of them. We got a lot of Brunswick stew options out there. So I'm going to just swipe down.
Mrs. Furno's Brunswick stew with chicken.
So we got with chicken.
Mrs. Furno's Brunswick stew with chicken, Carolina made by Boone Brands, 20 ounces can.
So we have a 20-ounce can. These are now. If I swipe right, it's going to show me where these are actually located. So like it might be Walmart, it might be Amazon.
Free delivery. Retailer, Walmart.
So this one's from Walmart. So let's just go ahead and look at this in particular. I'm going to open this one up.
Mrs. Furno's Brunswick stew with chicken, Carolina made by Boone Brands, 20 ounces can.
All right.
Next image. Retailer.
So we have an image here, and I'm going to show you what we can do with that in a second. Now, sorry, full disclosure, I could cheat and do my Android image description, but a lot of you probably aren't using Android, so I'm not going to do that. So anyway, we're gonna just look at this website here.
Mrs. Furno's Brunswick stew with chicken, Carolina made by Boone Brands, 20 ounces can. Rating 3.9. Price
3.9. Byron, I think we could do better than that, right? Like, all right. So it's $14.
Reduced by over 12% compared to the original price of $16.76.
So that tells us how much it used to be.
Product description.
So here's a description.
Mrs. Furno's delicious Brunswick stew with Chicken is a Southern family blue ribbon winning. Recipe, a taste that is sure to please, and excellent. Store preparedness item and great value for not. From scratch cooking, a true Southern style. Expand product description.
So we can expand that. I'm gonna get one of these cans just for winter. We're getting that time of year where we need to be prepared. So thanks, Byron. So what's great about this is down here at the bottom, there's a Ask InnoSearch. So we have a quantity. So here we actually are able to check out if I wanted to. So I could order like 6 of these if I wanted. So I can add it to my cart. I could buy now. This looks very familiar, right? So now, oh, here we go. Top user reviews. Do we have any? Oh, we got John. Oh, he loves it.
Decades, even buying a case periodically to have. Shipped to me in Arizona when I lived up. Expand review tab.
So John loves it. That's awesome. All right. So now, what I could do, I'm gonna get through these reviews.
Grunge head. No next heading. No.
Grunge head. I can't control the usernames. All right. So what we can do though is we can actually ask AI about the particular item. So if you wanted to, this one probably isn't a great idea, but if I wanted to ask like what ingredients are in there, I could do that. If I wanted to ask, like for example, say I'm buying a shirt, I think Ryan was kind of demoing this earlier, and I wanted to know what materials it was made out of. If it didn't say on the page, I could do that. But what's great about InnoSearch here is I can add this to my cart and then just check out. I don't have to have a Walmart membership. In fact, I've done this before. I bought an Old Spice, I think it was Old Spice, deodorant, and I bought some like shampoo and conditioner. And the great thing is, like, I don't have a Walmart account or anything, but they would deliver it through Walmart Now. So I actually got it within 3 hours. And they will tell you how long and like when it ships and when you'll get it, which is really cool. And you can use Apple Pay, you can use like Google Pay, you can use any of these like sort of smart cards. So it's very great in that way. So like if you buy on Amazon, you really can't use Apple Pay, right? But if you buy on this, you can. So it's kind of a nice thing. It's very, I feel like, secure and pretty much dealing with customer service has been good for me. I didn't get one thing I ordered last holiday season. I ordered a headset, didn't get it. They refunded me my money and took care of it. So that was really nice. So I would say if you haven't used InnoSearch, give it a try and get yourself some of this stew. But all right, so we're going to move on a little bit here because I think time's getting a little bit away from us here. I could go on forever on this stuff, but we're going to move into sort of accessibility and action. I'm going to hand you back over to Lonnie.
So we've covered this somewhat previously as we've been talking, as far as what you can do with the different AI platforms and accessibility. So some examples, I've given this one previously. So the 85-page PowerPoint, we asked Gemini to create the deep dive for that. I've used it at work to summarize, to make things easier. We've also, I've used it for different areas where I need to learn more about my surroundings. I'm not great with directions and landmarks and things like that. So, yeah, well, I'm sure she says a lot of things. So, I will use it to learn more about what's around. Earlier in the year, we were looking at perhaps moving with the TARC situation and buying a new home. So I used it to learn more about the Crescent Hill area, the different landmarks and things of that nature. So it's really, I would have to say it's living. If I had to live without it now, I would definitely notice a difference because there's so much that I can do with it. And it just saves so much time when you're using it. Where, I mean, I could go to Apple Maps or I could go to Google and type things in, but I could just say I'm blind. I am traveling from point A to point B. I need the description of landmarks and major intersections and things like that. Give it to me in a bulleted list, and I want it in a Word document in 16 point with sections and headings, and I get it in 2 minutes. And then I can save it. And then what it also will do, it'll come back and say, okay, I've done this, but would you also like me to do this? And so it's, I'm like, sure, go ahead, do that. So it's very intuitive about things like that. And it remembers. So when I ask it things later, it'll say, here it is in a screen reader friendly format. So I don't have to tell it again to do that.
And same kind of thing here. I think like Lonnie's house buying situation is a perfect example of where this works, because you know, a lot of times we're just given a bunch of accessible PDFs. I was looking for apartments earlier this year, and you know, AI helped me kind of like I gave it a part of town in Louisville I wanted to live in. You know, gave it my sort of thoughts and sort of ideas of the neighborhoods I kind of wanted to live in, and then it gave me back price ranges and kind of explained the floor plans of the ones that it had online. So it was super helpful in that regard. So let's go ahead and go into the last one. I'll let you start.
Okay, so we've talked about all of the different uses for AI that you can do, and many, many more that we haven't talked about. One area that we really wanted to focus on as well and end with is two things. We wanted to touch on ethics and also safety. So with AI, with ethics, you know, the question oftentimes is it cheating when you use AI? And the answer is no, if you use it responsibly. And you know, you can use it to draft, to brainstorm. You can outline, translate, summarize. You know, check for clarity. But you would, you know, when you do that, and you're creating a document or anything, you'll always want to cite that you've used AI. Certainly, we all know examples of what not to do with it. So, you know, writing for school, writing a paper and submitting it as your own, using it at work to skip safety steps or to skip training. So it's all about using your best judgment there, making sure that it is not, and I've used this, but I mean, just because I'm curious, but it's not a substitute for medical advice. So, and it will tell you that. It used to not tell you that. Now it does tell you this is not a substitute for medical advice. But you can ask it questions. And thinking ahead, I was talking with someone the other day. I can see that maybe 5-10 years from now, we'll have the option to use virtual AI for medicine. You know, when we are already, I'm sure, do, but you know, instead of paying a doctor, we can just, you know, say, these are my symptoms. Okay, here's your prescription. But it's just about using it responsibly and making sure that if you're going to use it, that you're double checking the information, never relying on it completely for fact, because it does give you some misinformation sometimes. So, you know, my rule is if it looks correct, if it looks perfect, check the footnotes. If the footnotes look perfect, check reality. So I think as far as the safety piece of it, I have developed with AI a checklist or a best practices sheet that I can send out to everyone who's registered at the convention here in a day or two. And it just outlines some things to be cognizant of regarding AI and safety. One thing that has come up quite a bit is voice cloning. So you may have heard of that. And if you've used the iPhone, you may be familiar with the newer feature, live speech. And you can also create your own, you can record your voice. And I did this back when you had to record 150 phrases. And it took a while. I did it, and it created my voice. It uploaded it to the cloud, and then I had when I went to my voiceover rotor, I could change it, and it would be me. Didn't completely sound like me. I think it sounded fairly well like me. Ashley didn't. But it's actually improved. Now I think you only have to do 10 phrases. So you just want to be careful about anything like that. If it sounds weird, double check. If you get a call from someone saying, hey, this is so-and-so, I'm in an accident, I need money, which a lot of that's common sense. But so there have been some scams. And Joe, I think you mentioned there was a scam you may be familiar with.
So recently, you may have seen this on the news, but there actually will call you and tell you that, like for example, let's say you have a daughter or son. They'll say that your daughter or son is in a car accident, and that and they'll have like their voice, and so it'll be your daughter, and it'll be like, "Mom, I've been in a car accident. Can you send me some money? I don't have my card with me or whatever." And it plays on your emotions because it literally sounds like your kid. They shared an example of this, like I think it was on 60 Minutes or one of those news type shows, and it was remarkable to kind of hear how that is. And I was at a conference last week. I was telling you all, it literally takes now 1 minute of your voice to clone it. So like literally just in 1 minute time of you talking, like, so we've talked for like an hour and a half, so you could clone my voice pretty well. It's a remarkable what they can do with just 1 minute of time of your voice. And so I would just say, like, if you get a call and you're just not sure, or maybe it's from a different number, just be very careful about scams that these folks are trying to do now. Because ultimately they're getting smarter and more sophisticated as well. It's not just calling up and instantly that it's a scam. So the other thing I just want to say too is just be careful what you're putting in. So we were talking about prompts. Don't if you are working for a company, don't put customer data into these. So basically, GPT, Gemini, all these things, they are looking at anything that comes in, and all that is data that you're sharing with it. So if you're not comfortable with the data that you're putting in, just make sure that you obviously don't want to put it in, right? So don't share customer data or anything like that. Also, don't share too sensitive information. It is a public domain in a sense. So whatever they get, they're going to use for future trainings and different things like that. So be cognizant of that as well. Oh yeah, guardrails. So all these services do have guardrails around them in regards to especially like for kids using this. There, not to get too into it, but like I just saw recently there are, so an LM is what's called a language model, and language models can be scary because anybody can create one. So a lot of these are getting created now, and they may not have guardrails, but the big companies like your Chat GPTs, your Geminis, your Perplexity, any one of the ones we've mentioned have guardrails. So what that means is you are going to be, if you're talking about something sensitive or something provocative or whatever, it's going to stop you. It's going to be like, no, I can't do this. This is not something that I feel comfortable sharing, or I'm not trained in this way of thinking. So guardrails are typically a good thing because Lonnie mentioned hallucination earlier. It was very early on with GPT that you could get it to hallucinate and tell you crazy things. One of the and I actually, so I was at a conference last week. I keep referencing it because it was on AI, so it's just on my mind. And one of the hosts made the comment, ask it about political things. And I thought to myself, that's something you probably wouldn't want to do too much, because I think they are getting more in line of like trying to make these things, quote unquote fair, or, one way or the other. But I just don't think that you should probably be gaining your political knowledge from an AI service. I think that's something that you as a human need to figure out yourself. And I didn't really, that whole sort of thing was a little bit odd to me. Like, because again, guardrails, they are implemented, but they can still, like, when you start talking about certain things, you can actually get it to hallucinate still and probably give you wrong information. As Lonnie said earlier, verify always. And I do a lot of coding on the side now. I'm starting to code a lot with AI. And one of the things I've learned, like I made a football game that runs on the computer. And one of the things that I learned is that while it wrote the code, it writes it at a level that is way higher than I am. So one of the prompts that helped me is when I'm checking the code is now I tell it code like you're a fourth grader, because that's about the level I'm at. And it really does help because it gives it the part of Python that I've kind of done in my book. So it's all about prompting, and it's all about sort of this just how you phrase something. But again, these guardrails are in place to kind of help protect you. So you don't have to, like, if you have kids in the room or grandkids, you don't have to fear about them using some of these things. Now, if they are using an LM that was created, somewhere, by me or something, then you might be a little bit more nervous because the guardrails may not be in place there. So always just be cognizant of what AI are you using, and kind of ask those kind of questions, I think, if you have family members using it.
Okay, so we have just a few minutes. We're gonna open up to Q&A. And I'm curious if anyone out there has used ChatGPT or Gemini and what some of the things you've used for it. So anybody have any questions or examples of what they've used AI for, or what they would want to use it for?
Well, if no one's going to talk, I will. I have a question. I am one of those odd people. I think I'm odd. I don't. Now look, mister, I dress my cat up in jerseys. And I do read all those posts, by the way. But I like to write. And no, not just my Facebook posts. I write. And I have been looking, and I don't really, even though I have ChatGPT, I have Suno, I like things, but I still somehow feel like I am cheating. So I like my own words and then maybe run them through the chat to check for grammar, for spelling, things like that. I have not yet found it an appropriate or user-friendly application that lets me talk and the words appear. I looked at one a couple of days ago, and I don't know if that's really considered AI, but Letterly, I looked at that. It is so not accessible. They have nothing labeled in there. Do you know of anything that might help with that?
So it's a little bit on so there's something called Loom that I use for videos in particular. So what it does is it ultimately you're using like a video, you talk to it, but what it does, it creates a transcript of what you say. And what then you could do is take that transcript, and it does a really good job. I've been using it for about a couple weeks now, and you can take that transcript then and then put that into GPT or something like that. Like so, the other one I would say that I've kind of seen that works pretty well is Gemini. Like so, you can't exactly talk to it and it does it like in real time, like you were saying. It's more like you dictate, but its dictation is pretty phenomenal. Also, those would be the two. I think Loom might be more what you're wanting because you'd just be able to take that transcript and then paste it wherever you want.
Can you text me that information?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think that brings up a good point. Sometimes you have to use multiple platforms to get your result. So something I may start in ChatGPT, then I'll move over to Gemini to get what I want. Sandra can, as far as the writing goes, I took a particular scenario and I put in some information and sent it to her, and it's been I haven't finished it yet, but it's different chapters and it's been ongoing and I need to finish it, but it's quite out there, and I've done it for another person. And although I didn't write it, I've spent, I'll spend a good deal of time putting in all the details, and then it'll come back with the scenario, and I'll fix it and say, no, I don't like this. Let's fix this. So I'm not actually writing the words, but I'm creating it in a different way. And so they're to the point where, okay, I need the next chapter. I want to read more. I was sending it to Emma, and she was just kept saying more and more. So it's pretty neat that you can do other things with it like that.
Yes.
So I erased that one, but I will be happy to, before the end of the convention, I will be happy to redo that for you. Absolutely. Right, and that was the biggest challenge was, and there's a way with voiceover that you can hear it, and then you can record it, and then stop the recording, and then you can listen to it before you move on. I understand exactly what you're referring to there. So yes, we can try to mess around with that some. I would love to have you record it so that I could have it as well, so that I can flip to the Karen voice depending on what I'm reading. Text versions of meetings.
Oh, menus.
Menus.
You can, sorry. You can use GPT or Gemini. So just in the prompt box, just wherever you're going to be eating at. So for example, there's like a Red Robin around here. So you could say, create me a text only version of Red Robin's menu. And then even if it's something like in a city or state, I'd probably put like Louisville, Kentucky or something like that.
I've even used it to create a document for embossing. Say I'm going to be embossing this. I need it to be appropriately formatted for line spacing, and I get it back the way I want it.
All that is amazing. And let's thank Lonnie and Joe for this amazing presentation. Now, we've all been sitting here for quite a while, so we are going to take a 5, that is 5, not 17 or 22, but a 5-minute break. But before we do that, we're going to, are you ready, Jacob? Can you be ready? Okay, great. We have another $25 Amazon gift card going to it's going to
No, I don't know.
oh, come right here. Oh, he's going that way.
Oh, okay. If you want to hear a personal voice real quick, I have my voice going.
All right.
Past winners. Bullet. Past winners. And the winner is ellipsis. Head. Draw winner. Draw winner. Speak. Draw winner. Dim. Prize name optional.
Okay, the voice sounds a bit weird, but it said the prize went to Katie. Is Katie in the room? Katie Atkins.
I don't think she's in
not
here.
the room.
Oh,
Well, let me draw one more one there.
yeah, please.
Lynn Florence.
Lynn, is she in here? Not in here.
Maria Jones.
I bet
Okay.
she's still teaching school.
Maybe you should just point out one of us.
Yeah.
I'll take all their cards on their behalf.
Is Ashley in the room? Ashley Swafford. Okay.
Okay, so I will see you all in 5 minutes. Oh, she's not here?
I thought you were just done.
Oh.
I thought someone was like, enough of this.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Jacob, I guess you get to do it again.
All right, one more time.
One more time. I'm right here, you know.
That is ironic, Sandra, as
Why?
it is your name.
Oh.
That's funny. That is funny. I'm sitting with Mike right here on the table.
Okay. It is all.
That's a cool app there. What's that? Your little drawing app. Oh, it's just HTML. That's awesome. You wrote that with GPT? I did that. Yeah. Yep. So what I'm really getting into is like, so I don't know if that was
Everything's great.
Yeah.
Sandra,
Yes.
after
And so-
corn chicken is on front of you or on top of you. I'm sorry.
Hosting it on or something like that, where it's like a server. Because then it runs perfect.
Yes, yes, I'm going to do that. Something, the bandwidth thing.
Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Give me the
Oh,
keys.
wow, okay.
You never gave me the
Is it Angela here? Yeah, gotcha. She was in the back, Angela was in the back.
In the back? Yeah, so I think it's up here and then to the left, and then there's a door. I don't know if it's locked or not. I think you have to cut in between the table that's right here.
Hello, Sandra.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
You in your jersey wearing kitty kitty.
Hey, Dennis, how are you? Good.
Should I give you the Ziploc
bag? I think you're up next.
I'll take it.
Maybe one more.
How many are in the box bag?
Oh, that's awesome. Did you have a safe drive down?
Absolutely.
Good. Would you bring?
I know.
I brought,
I understand.
Hey, Shot.
I brought the dock.
I'm not dragging these around.
It is a spoken box yesterday, this is brand new. But it's, it'll translate information from your screen, onto a device that has pins. So that it'll flip it to braille.
You're talking about the dot like topographics? Yeah. So you got the newer one.
Well, I don't know which one. I've got three. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There may be another.
How much is it selling?
Thank you.
Five grand? Okay. Yeah, that's the newer one. Because they used to have one that's like 10,000.
Okay.
And, so yeah, this one. So do you know, is it working and stuff?
I just don't.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
But-
I'll have to come by because I want to put my hands on it.
Yeah, I can do that, and then, I can come back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I come down there all the time.
Yes, we do the Monarch at Aviation.
Y'all forget to turn off.
Okay, got the mic on. I'll try to remember to turn it off. If we could all be coming back into the room, we will get on with our next innovative speaker. And I really can't tell if everybody is back. No, sounds a little. It sounds like jabbering, yeah. Jabbering in the hall. Laughing in the hall.
Ashley, could you tell them to stop jabbering?
I'm getting coffee and I'll get over here. I will. Yeah. Ready to start?
Thank you, Ashley.
You're very welcome.
Oh, hey. He's been gone for a while. I don't know where he disappeared to. He was. Now, everyone's up here. Good seeing you, Scott. Good seeing you too. Oh, one more thing too.
Why do I always forget the name? Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I do have a little bit of housekeeping. We have an individual in the room who apparently has a banquet ticket they would like to sell. Her name is Leah. I'm uncertain of her last name, and I apologize. Okay. But if you did not purchase a banquet ticket and you have an interest in attending tomorrow evening, please see Leah and you can purchase a ticket from her. Now we're going to go on with our discussion of AI, and we're going to hear from Mr. Dennis McKinney from Advanced Vision. And he will be talking to us about how AI can assist those with low vision.
There we go. Yes, I'm Dennis McKinney with Advanced Low Vision Technology. I'm located near Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm a distributor of assistive low vision devices. And to go along with your AI discussions today, I'm going to talk about a couple of devices that have incorporated AI, one of them to a very significant degree. I'm also going to talk about the Ally app. So when we're talking about Chat, GTP, Gemini, this Ally app is going to be another feature similar to those two types of functions. Very similar, but it's designed specifically for low vision and blind people. And then in addition, I'm going to talk about, if we have time, a couple or three new devices that have come on the market for low vision and blind individuals. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is the Ally app. that can be downloaded onto an Apple iPhone or any Android device. So, and I'm going to read the description of this. So the Envision Ally is an AI-powered assistant designed for people with visual impairments and others who need an accessible way to interact with technology. And the core functions are conversational access. So instead of navigating menus, users can ask Ally questions in their natural language. Reading and scanning, Ally can read printed text from signs, documents, and menus by scanning them with a camera. Scene and object description, it can provide detailed descriptions of surroundings and recognize objects. Web search and information retrieval, users can ask questions, get information, check the weather, or access calendar events. And then photo description. It can provide accurate descriptions of photos, even those in your user's library. So that's a short description of an Envision Ally. So not only is it an app that you can download onto your smartphone, it's also incorporated into the Envision glasses. So the Envision glasses, I think I reviewed that to some extent a year ago, but the Envision glasses, it's a wearable device. It has many, many different functions. So including like scanning text, call an ally, describe scene, recognize cache, find object, find people, etc. Within the Envision glasses, the ally feature is one of the functions, but also a couple of the other features use AI. So for example, the scan text feature. Scan text, you hold a document up, and it'll prompt you to position the document where the camera can capture the most information. It'll take a picture of it, and then it'll read it back to you aloud. So during this process, you can actually pause the read back, and then you can ask it questions specifically about the document, or you can ask it to summarize the document. So it's a very powerful feature. So if you're reading a document, you don't necessarily want to listen to the reading of the entire document. You can have it summarized. And then again, you can ask specific questions. Another feature within the Envision glasses is the describe scene. So again, so for example, the Envision glasses, I could take a picture of this room, and then it would start describing the scene in this room. So again, you can pause that, and you can ask more specific, detailed questions about what it sees. So that's the other feature, AI feature within the Envision glasses. So a very, very powerful device. Also want to mention that Envision is coming out with a new device. It's already out. I don't have a demo unit yet, but it's called Solos. And it's going to be priced much less than the Envision glasses. So as you all know, many of these devices are quite expensive. So in this situation, not only with the AI features, as everybody's been hearing today, it's just improving basically on a daily basis. You know, in this situation, even the price is going to be coming down. Now, the functionality of the Solos glasses, I don't know if it's going to have all the features that the Envision glasses have, but it's definitely going to have the Ally feature that I do know. So, and it is on sale. They have a pre-sale, and I should be getting my demo, hopefully within the next month, maybe 6 weeks or so. So that's one device that's currently on the market, the Envision glasses, that has incorporated AI. The second device I want to talk about is the Lyric Auto Reader. It's a very simple and easy to use device where it's very lightweight, it's portable, only weighs about 2.5, 3 pounds. You just lift the lever up, you place a document on it, and it'll automatically take a picture and then read it back to you aloud. So, and it has various, you can increase, decrease the volume, you can increase or slow down the readback speed. The document can be paused. The document, you can go back if you miss something and then start from a previous sentence or 2 sentences, however far back you want to go. But it's an extremely easy device to use. And in the past year, they've incorporated AI. And with this feature, now when you're reading a document, it can actually summarize it as well. So it's similar to the Envision glasses. You can get a summary. Also, with the AI feature, it will now read barcodes, which is nice for particularly food labels and things of that nature. So those are a couple of devices that have incorporated AI, and it can be used by both blind and low vision individuals. And as I mentioned, the Solos glasses will be available shortly, or they're actually available now, but I know I will have my demo unit here hopefully in a month or so. So that's a little bit about how AI has already been incorporated into some devices. Next, I want to move to some new devices. At least it's new to me. And is anybody familiar with the dot pad? Has anybody heard about the dot pad? Okay, so I actually just got my demo unit recently and actually only opened the box up yesterday. So I'm brand new to this. So I'm going to read some of the information about it, about the device and what it can do. So the dot pad is a tactile display designed for blind or low vision individuals. Unlike conventional Braille devices limited to single line output, the dot pad features multi-line Braille support, enabling it to render not just text, but also images, graphs, and other visual content in tactile format. It seamlessly integrates with smartphones, tablets, laptops via Bluetooth, and the dot pad provides a flexible and convenient usability across diverse settings. So, and it's a small device. It's about the size of a tablet, but it is thicker. Now, all of these devices I'm talking about today, I actually have demo units. The only one I don't have is the Solos glasses. But I do have the dot pad, the Envision glasses, the Lyric Auto Reader, and to give you a little bit more information about the dot pad, the text is in multi-line Braille. The graphics are in tactile form. It automatically converts images, PDFs, BRFs into tactile Braille while seamlessly integrating with leading screen readers to maximize real-time accessibility. It easily connects with your smartphones, tablets, laptops, minimizing the learning curve and enhancing tactile access to your existing workflows. It can be connected to Apple's VoiceOver, so you can output images, photos, icons, and applications as tactile information. Just a little bit about the device. It weighs about 2.5 pounds, so it's light and weight. And as I mentioned, it's about the size of a tablet, except it's thicker. So that's a little bit about the dot pad. Another new device that I want to mention is the Display Monitor. Now, the Display Monitor, it's a foldable, portable display monitor, and this is only for low vision individuals. It reduces eye fatigue. It's designed to fold down the size of a large book that expands to a 25-inch HD monitor. It almost, it folds, it's almost like using an umbrella, the way you open it and the way you close it. They're also going to have a 35-inch screen available soon. It has a wrinkle-resistant nanomaterial screen that delivers clear visuals even in bright environments. And I've actually used it myself out on my porch where there was a lot of sunlight, and I'm able to watch TV by just using my smartphone because I have a direct TV app. So it allows me to get outside of the house to watch TV. It has a battery life up to 4 hours, and it connects to several devices, and I'll get into the details. So from a portability point of view, it's weighs about 2.5 pounds. It's compact enough to fit into a backpack. It offers a high brightness level. The connectivity, it supports USB-A, USB-C, and HDMI connections with laptops, smartphones, and tablets. The screen is very durable. It's made of nanomaterial and has a lifetime warranty. In regard to the versatility of the device, it does have a built-in battery, it has speakers, and it comes with a tripod to mount for usage anywhere. Another major feature of this device is eye fatigue reduction. So I'm going to go into 3 of the things in regard to eye fatigue, and that's blue light, light diffusion, and glare. The display monitor, it reduces blue light exposure from the source output, not just a filter. This can decrease visual fatigue and improve sleep quality by minimizing stimulation of the retina. Diffused light, display diffuses light to reduce harsh direct exposure to the retina while preserving visual clarity, and this helps prevent overstimulation and in turn can reduce photosensitivity. Glare reduction. The display eliminates nearly 100% of glare. This can improve eye performance and long-term eye health. Glare causes the neck and eyes to work harder to find the right viewing angle, and that can lead to adverse effects. So that's a quick summary of the display monitor. And the next device I'm going to discuss is the Vision Buddy Mini. So the Vision Buddy Mini is for low vision individuals only. It's basically the little brother to the Vision Buddy Max 4. So the Vision Buddy has basically 4 modes. It has a magnifying mode, it has a reading mode, it has a connectivity mode to computers, laptops, and iPhones, and it also has a TV mode for TV watching. So on the 4 modes, there's the basic color mode is the magnifying mode, and it has a magnification level of about 10x. The reading mode is in grayscale, but it also has different options, black on white, white on black, and 3 or 4 other color options as well. And the nice thing about on the connectivity part, so it can connect via cable to a laptop, a smartphone, or an iPad, any of those type of devices. So whatever's on the screen of any of those devices is transmitted into the Vision Buddy Mini headset, and it can be magnified. And in the TV mode, that is a wireless system where the TV signal is transmitted directly into the headset via Wi-Fi. So the Mini, the difference between the Mini and the Vision Buddy Max 4 basically is the Mini weighs about half as much. So that's one of the nice features. But as with all of these, compared to the Max 4, it doesn't have a wide as field of vision. So with the Vision Buddy Max 4, you really get an IMAX movie theater type of effect. You get a similar effect with the Mini, but the field of view is not quite as big. So that's a quick summary of the Vision Buddy Mini. That pretty much concludes what I want to talk about. Now I'll be around, so any of these devices, again, you can come back and see me, and you can take a look at them. So appreciate you having me today. It's always good to be in Louisville. I used to live here for 7 years, so I'm very familiar with the city. I like it. I like the state of Kentucky, and it's always good. My basketball team's here tonight in Lexington, so I'm hoping for a basketball victory. But I'm a Purdue fan, by the way. Thank you all.
Here you go. Here
Oh.
you go. Thank you.
Well, thank you so
Here's a
much.
gift card inside. Well, that was a lot of amazing technology, wasn't it? And sometimes amazing technology has an amazing price, doesn't it? Yeah. So our next guest speaker is Mr. Kenneth Jones. He is going to talk to us about the Appalachian Loan Corporation. Maybe it's a way you can afford some of this awesome technology.
Thank you, Sandra. Well, she's actually right. You've heard about some wonderful assistive technology here this morning, and it's not cheap. And there are many options in which are available to get this technology, some of which are free if you're fortunate enough, but if you're not so fortunate, sometimes you have to dip into your own pocketbook or apply for loans. And that's what I'm here to speak with you about this morning. It's actually your Vice President, Sandra Williams, that got me involved in this journey. About 8 or 9 years ago, she approached me and asked if I would be interested in joining the Kentucky Assistive Technology Loan Corporation as she was transitioning off of that board. And I guess she thought that my skills with finances or whatever, as we reviewed loans, would be of benefit. And I had just retired maybe a year or two, and that's something that I've always wanted to do. Was, that was my goal, was to assist adults and young folks with disabilities. So I agreed to do that. So I became a board member of the Kentucky Assistive Technology Loan Corporation, not really realizing what they fully do. And I was familiar with CATS, which I'm sure many of you are familiar. But the Kentucky Assistive Technology Loan Corporation was actually established by state statute in 1996 to provide assistive technology loans for individuals with disabilities and the elderly. And it's composed of a 7-member board, 4 of whom have to have disabilities, and review loan requests. So I decided to do that and learned quite a bit about that whole process. Well, I've served on that board for 8 years, and that's the maximum in which you can serve before transitioning off. Halfway through that, well, I don't even think it was halfway through that course, we lost our lending partner. So we had to find another source of funds to service our loans. So that's how I became involved in what's called the Appalachian Assistive Technology Loan Fund. The Kentucky Assistive Technology Loan Corporation partnered with them to service or to become a lending partner. So I'm a member of that board now. So what I'm here to speak with you about is what we offer, and it's outstanding. It's an outstanding opportunity. We offer many loans in the range of $100 to $7,000 with a no interest rate whatsoever and no fees. Repayment terms are up to 4 years or 48 months. And of course, these loans are for, any assistive technology. And, when we think of assistive technology, we always seem to think of a device. And assistive technology is actually anything that can help individuals with disabilities be more independent. So they can actually also include other types of services, such as evaluations and so any type of service. Some examples of assistive technology, and these are only examples. Many of you, of course, are familiar with most of these: computers and tablets, wheelchairs and scooters, smart home technology, stair lifts. Most of the loans that come before us are hearing aids and other hearing aid technologies, but we really want to expand out of that range. Adaptive sports equipment, stair lifts. So it's really a wide range. Many of us, we have many smart home devices that are available today. It can include that. So really think broad when you think of any type of device or services. It can be evaluations for if you need to go somewhere for an evaluation. It can include that. The process for which to apply is quite simple. You go to the web page of the Kentucky Assistive Technology Loan Corporation, which is katlc.ky.gov, just that general government state website. I have materials that will be available during the exhibit portion of the program in the back of the room. I won't be there for the majority of the time, but Sandra Williams, she will be there. And so that material will be available to you in large print as well as Braille, as well as regular print, of course. So let's see, anything else I need to cover? I think that it pretty much sums it up. But yes. Yes, but we do have a $7,000 limit. So if those modifications are within that range, it will cover that. We hope to have availability for additional funding, and we're working on that we can cover expenses beyond that $7,000 limit. Those modifications for vans are typically more than that. So that's something we're working on.
What is the turnaround time between application and receiving the actual loan?
That is a good question. It is not long, I think, and it's about a month. It's not very long, even if it's that. The process in which we have is once you apply, there is a certain criteria. If you have a certain credit score and loan to interest to loan ratio, you automatically receive it. But if not, then it goes to a committee in which I'm on that we review the loans. So that when it goes to that process, it may take a week longer or so because we try to review those loans and provide that feedback within that time. But that's typically the time. So it's a pretty good quick turnaround. And while we're on that issue of loans and that process, many of you all are, probably young, maybe coming out of school or whatever, or you may have not, you just may be establishing credit. This is actually a good way for you to begin establishing a good credit history by applying for one of these loans and paying that off to really help develop your credit history, get your credit score up, and that sort of thing. Do I have any more questions?
Can you talk about any proof of disability? Do you require documentation?
Yes, that is on the loan application. There is a requirement for proof of disability. Yes, that is part of the application process. Anything else? We try really hard to approve a loan. We really do. Unless when loans that come before this committee, we try to look at every circumstance through that process. We will look at special circumstances. We really try hard to approve a loan. The only way that we will not approve a loan and is if there is just a history of non-repayment, and if there is default or collections. That's kind of, you have to have we really try to hard. I can just say that to approve the loans, and we look at every possible way to do that.
Can you explain the appeals process?
Once it comes before the committee, oftentimes we have questions about a situation, and we will send that back and seek information about perhaps maybe there was a default, and we will request, what happened there, and to give that applicant an opportunity to explain their circumstances. Once that's addressed, and we try and get every explanation of whatever our committee has, and sometimes we're satisfied. More, it's rare that we're not, but when we're not, once that's done, it's typically denied. But again, we try very hard to approve most loans. It's not a very high percentage of loans that we don't approve, to be perfectly honest.
How does income involvement influence the decision?
Well, we look at the amount of bills you have as well. Yeah, exactly. So, we look at both. We look at the amount of income compared to the amount of bills, the debt to income ratio, and other factors as well. Very good questions. Anything else? I would encourage anyone out there, though, who have heard about a piece of technology that they've heard or is in need of a service, to apply. I mean, what is the harm of applying? And like I said, we do approve most. So give it a shot if there's anything that you've heard. I will be available today. I'll be back here tonight. So if you have any further questions, most of you know me, so I'm sure there's a few of you who do not, but I'm sure that those of you who do not can contact somebody up here at this table here, and they know me. So, if you want to talk later, I will be glad to, provide, I'll discuss your individual situation if you want to share that or whatever. And, So feel free to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Like Kenny said, I will be back at the table during the exhibit time, during the lunch break. You know that we are giving away, raffling off, we're not giving, kind of, this wonderful Apple Watch. And last year we were a bit remiss when we raffled the glasses, and we didn't give a whole lot of detail on how they could be utilized and what they were good for. So this year, we're going to have Miss Danielle Burton Laher. That's I just know her as Danielle. She is going to talk to us a little bit about this watch we are raffling off. And I will say once again, please see Danielle, myself, or Jacob if you would like to purchase a Braille only ticket. We are cash only. And if you need or wish to pay with a card, Mr. Lonnie Swafford will take care of you. Oh, the tickets, once again, are $10 for one and $3 for 20. And like I said earlier, a $20 bill, just a wonderful donation, chance to win. And they're easy. Just give me one, I'll give you some tickets, and we're good.
Where's the Conrad? Let me find the. Oh, okay. We got one person that was too tall, and now I'm too short. So, sit. Sit down. I think my dog wants to assist in the presentation. Anyway, so the Apple Watch. I know. Let's see. Who in here has an Apple Watch? Yeah. Oh, several. Okay. Who in here isn't sure about the accessibility features on an Apple Watch? Okay, so several of you. Okay, I'm assuming that sounded like several. I'm deaf, so we'll see. So the Apple Watch has pretty much, it is iOS. It has pretty much the voiceover that you know and are familiar with on your iPhone or your iPad. You can scroll, double tap, use the rotor. It's a little awkward on it. I have a tinier Apple Watch display, so it's a little awkward. But you can use all of those voiceover gestures with your Apple Watch. Some of the things that I think I find this surprising. I know this not necessarily the most common is you can create like compilations on the watch, which means you can create you can put certain things on your main watch face. For example, in mine, I actually have like the weather temperature because I want to know how cold it is when I wake up at 6 a.m. to take my dogs out. It's kind of a necessary thing. I had to decide between temperature or whether it was raining. I kind of went with temperature. I actually had the battery status on my main watch face, and I also have my exercise routines and the workout app. But you can customize it however you like. I use my watch for about 3 or 4 different things. So I personally use mine for workouts where I can go in and start a workout. Usually, here lately, there's been lots of outdoor walks when you got a 2-year-old dog. You can add workout. You can add different things. Like I have cycling, I have treadmill, indoor walk, I have rowing, and I have swimming, of course, because I'm a swimmer. So but there's a whole entire list of workouts that is in the workout app on your Apple Watch that you can pick from. So if there's not a sport there, and positives there, they even have like table sports. So the other thing that I use mine for is tracking my sleep and my alarm. I used to have a alarm that paired with my iOS device that vibrated. Well, they broke the accessibility of that about 2 or 3 years ago. And so now I use it for an alarm. I set my alarm. I use Siri on my watch and set my alarm every night, and it vibrates in the morning. I'm trying to think what else for those, and you can even, I don't use this feature because I have my hearing aids, but you can answer like whether you have the Wi-Fi version or the cellular version. As long as your phone is within range and you get a phone call, you can answer it on the watch and hand it off to your iPhone. I have used it maybe once or twice, but that's some of the nice features about the watch that is really handy. Another thing that I find mine really useful for is when I'm cooking in the kitchen. It's, I probably don't have my phone on me. I don't want to try to pick up my phone and all of that, but it's easier if I have my watch on me and tell Siri to set a timer. And then my watch is on me, so I can go do whatever I want, and it'll go off on my wrist. So that to me is a big help in the kitchen, as well as, how are that other thing? You can, and I'm going to say this and people are probably going to be surprised, but if you're worried about, not being able to hear it, if you're deaf or deafblind, you can connect your watch to hearing aids, and you can also connect your watch to a braille display. And yes, I haven't done the hearing aid, but I did do the braille display. Just to share a quick story of how useful this was, my mom was up here in Louisville and her phone messed up, but she needed to go to the store and do something while we were trying to move my stuff, but she didn't have a phone on her. So I sent her my phone. My watch was still on me, and I had my, connected to Wi-Fi. And so I connected my braille display to my watch and was able to at least text and make sure everything was okay. So that's the one nice unexpected feature. But if you have any other questions, come find me. I'm around all weekend, and of course I will have tickets. I have plenty of tickets to sell. Please come see me so I can get rid of them. We can't hear you. No one up here can hear you.
As bad as you, I don't know.
Describe the size of the watch and the cellular components.
What was it?
They're just cellular.
Okay.
Waterproof.
What was it?
I'm coming through with Joe.
Oh, sorry, chestnuts. Come here. Sorry.
Sorry.
You're good.
You done?
What was the question? Was there a question? I totally missed this.
Okay.
I was trying to keep my dog from getting hit. What was there a question?
He was asking if it was waterproof.
Yes, it is waterproof. I swim with my watch all the time. I swim. The only bad part about it is voiceover will sound really, really funky for a while. I'm not exaggerating. It sounds terrible. But once you put it in water mode, and you really don't have to do it. I put it in water mode because I wanted to intentionally track my laps. But yeah, no, it does pretty well. I've swam with mine with no issue. I haven't broken it yet, so. All right. There you go.
All right, I'm good. Thank you, Danielle.
Danielle also likes $20 bills or 4 5s or 2 10s. Just nice, easy number. Just saying. This has been an awesome symposium. Would you not agree? And to close this symposium out, I'm going to bring back to the podium the president of our Technology Assistance Division Group,
Do we,
Todd Stevens. Yes, we did.
do we have our, um, uh, those that are gonna have, their booth set up? Can we go through who's going to be here?
Yeah, you can do that.
That are gonna be-
Here you go.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. Here's your microphone.
Okay, please chime in if I don't cover everybody. We are going to have an NFB Newsline Kentucky table. Ryan Jones with Vespero Freedom Scientific, Dennis McKinney with Low Vision Technology, Lonnie and Joe representing the Technology Assistance Division, Sandra with the Kentucky Loan Corporation. Am I missing anyone? Okay, APH and the Kentucky Talking Book Library. So, oh, AT guys. Everybody get that? All right. So those that are staying for lunch, I guess lunch is going to be served shortly after 1 o'clock. I want to thank everyone for attending the 14th annual National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky Technology Assistance Division Symposium, and we look forward to having you back next year. Please engage with those that are going to be standing by for you so that you can have hands-on and hands-on so that you can have the excuse me, so that you can be able to engage with them on a personal level. Thank you. Yeah.
Do we want to do a door prize?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Is this our last door prize?
We have 2 more.
Okay. So hang around. Nobody leave because you have to be in the room.
Am I here? Sorry, 1 second. One second, it froze up on me, but I'm coming. 1 second.
This is Ashley. Sorry, it's really close to my face. So what's going to happen with lunches is that several of us will come around to your tables. If you can get out your only one lunch ticket, remember it is the one that does not have the hole punch. So you should have one that's full, but if you have one that's a hole punch, that's your banquet one. We will come table by table and we will get your lunches and get your tickets and bring you a lunch. So please don't go anywhere. We have that covered.
Do you want to say the options, Ashley?
I can't remember the options.
The options for lunch. The options for lunch are chicken salad, ham sandwich,